Yo, yo, yo. What is good, y'all? What is good, everybody, man? It's me, NYG, aka Unpopular Opinion Sports. And then we back with my co-host, Mr. Coach Ed Gladney. And we do this thing we like to call Heart of the City, where we tap into all the New York City area sports. Tonight, a little bit of a late show, a little bit of a late start, but we still going do what we do, man, and chop it up, man. Let's talk to sports, man. New York City is jumping right now. Got the Brooklyn Nets in action. Got the New York Knicks in action. Giants coaching drama, coaching hires. We'll get into that. NFL draft coming up, of course, and you know what we do, man. But as I like to always do, man. What's up to the chat? Appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in, tuning out tonight. And of course, man, I want to shout out, man, my co-host, man, Mr. Coach Ed Gladney, man. How you doing tonight, Coach? What's good with you, man? What's good?
Yeah, what's up? I'm hanging in there, just trying to take it step by step. That's about it. How about you?
I'm gravy, man. I'm gravy, man. You know what I'm saying? Just kicking back right now, watching this game. Minute 10 left. Brooklyn Nets are down by 9. Um, and outside of that, man, just been chilling, working, grinding, and like
Mm.
we always do, man. But what's good, Iman Perry? What's up, man? What's good? What's cracking, bro? Appreciate you coming through to the show. Tony, what's up, man? What's up with you, man? Appreciate
What's
you
up,
stopping
everybody?
by, man. Please hit that like and subscribe button for your brothers. But still looking at this game, coach, man. You got eyes on the Knicks, man. What's going over there, man, with the New York
Actually, I
Knicks?
can't remember. I'm on my phone, so I can't see
Oh,
anything.
all right, yeah, all right. Let me peep in on the Knicks game right now. 123 to 113. Knicks are up. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So it looks like they got that one wrapped up. Nets down by 11 right now to the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, in Kyrie Irving's return back to Brooklyn. And me personally, I'm gonna give him a fat middle finger. But I know a lot of Nets fans are sour. They still like Kyrie, man. They still, support Kyrie Irving
Hmm.
and everything that comes with him, man. But this has been a pretty good game for Kyrie so far. So far, so good. I would give more of the analysis once this game is over. Been watching it pretty much all night. And this Brooklyn Nets team, man, they got to pick a direction. They got to
Yeah,
pick a direction. Either you're gonna tear this thing down and really rebuild, or you're gonna retool or whatever I guess is the saying, and try to add some more pieces around Mikal Bridges and Cam Thomas. So based on that, Coach, what are your thoughts on what the Nets should do and the Knicks should do, man, coming into this trade deadline, man? We got a lot of rumors around, um, rumors around DeJounte Murray, rumors around Mikal Bridges possibly on the move.
hmm
So what are your thoughts on this upcoming trade deadline? Trade deadline is coming up. Is it,
Thursday.
is it Thursday, right?
Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be Thursday. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to, if things go right, I'm supposed to be on with Mitch and the Pick and Roll podcast because we're going to do a live countdown from like one until the trade deadline ends. So it's supposed to be Thursday. So um, I'm really intrigued about that to see what's going on, in reference to that. So, but in terms of, I'll start with your Nets, man. Yeah, you're right. You got to decide what you're going to do. I mean, I've heard so many different rumors, some stupid. I saw one where certain Knicks fans were saying give the Nets 5 first round draft picks Quentin Grimes, Jericho Sims, and Evan Fournier for Mikal Bridges. And I know you and I get and I think three of them were unprotected from the Knicks, and you were supposed to get Milwaukee and I forgot who the other one. The other ones were protected. And I'm saying to myself, there's no way in hell he's worth all of that. And people are so infatuated with that Villanova stuff. But as
Yeah.
far as the Nets, yeah, you're right. You got to decide what you're going to do. And to be honest, the question is, do you feel that Mikal Bridges is a legitimate number one? Because if he's not, then you really got to get someone in here to take the lead and let him be that number two. But then
Hmm.
again, if you do that, do you have the capital to go out and get you, say, a Donovan Mitchell? You know, um, do you believe that what's his name with Atlanta is the number one? To be honest with you,
Murray, no,
yeah. To be honest
I
with
don't.
you, if I'm looking at the landscape, there is no true number one right now that's on the trade
Not
blocks, in my
available. I
opinion.
agree.
So,
Hmm.
as far as the Nets, and that's the hard part. You already know that more than likely Vaughn is going to be let go at either more than likely after the season. You're just going to fight through.
Wish he was gone now, but that's me. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, whether you let him go now or not, it's not going to change the landscape. So you might as well just, and you're already paying him, so just at least get something or try to get something for him.
I guess he's just hurting. He's hurt. To me, the problem, not to cut you off, but to me, the problem with Vaughn is I feel like he's hurting the team's development. Like we need to get some of these young players on the court. We need to get some of these young players, and I get it. He's coaching for his job. He's coaching for his job. He's trying to win as many games as he can, and I understand coaches that are in that position, man. But at the end of the day, I need to see more Cam Thomas. I need to see finally they put him in the lineup. They keep putting him in, taking him out, putting him in, taking him out. That's not good for a kid's development. This kid is a scoring machine. He needs to be on the court. You got Clowney in the G League. Gal. Some of these guys can't get on the court, and I don't know why. And well, I know why. It's because of Jock Vaughn. Jock
hmm
Vaughn does not inspire any type of confidence when it comes to
hmm
this team.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. So then, if that's the case, if you're going to strip it down, then strip it down. But then again, to be brutally honest, you got to look at what pieces can you sell off. And to be honest with
Mm.
you, the pieces that you have to sell off to get something that helped you in this rebuild, because what hurt you guys is like you always say, y'all have no first round draft picks.
Nope.
And to get those, you do have to trade a Cam Thomas. You do have to trade a Mikal Bridges. You know,
Let me, but coach, here's the thing though. When we talk about first round draft picks, where in the first round? You see, we talking about some of these first round draft picks, but you got to understand the teams that you're trading these picks to, they're not going to be bad teams. If you trade Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, which I would throw up if that happened, just because it's the Knicks,
hmm
and to be honest with you, I mean, why make them better? They're in your division. But anyway, if you were to do that, say you just say fuck it and do it, what where do you think the Knicks are gonna finish? They're not gonna be a lottery team.
no, I
So
agree
those
with
picks,
you.
those picks are gonna be the back end of the first round, which are in the NBA kind of worthless. Not worthless, but
You
they're
can't
kind
use
of
those. You can't use those to trade up.
yeah, but at the same time, players are more important than picks. You use picks to draft players, and then you flip those players. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it is. But if you're just getting middle tier players and middle tier talent, and then you're looking at building this thing out, and now you're stuck with what? You don't have a star. You got rid of Bridges, whether he's a 2 or 3, whatever you want to consider him. He's still a good player, borderline all-star. And it's like, okay, you
Hmm.
flip
Hmm.
that for what? Quentin Grimes? No, just for a
I
bunch of picks.
I agree with you. I mean, and that's the problem with the Nets in their situation because you're right. Now maybe you might be able to, depending, entice Detroit. I mean, that's a possibility. What about Houston? Houston has a lot of your picks. What
Yeah,
about trading back to them and getting some of your picks back? So
yeah.
I
If we
get
were to get our picks back, then yeah, we talking different
and
because
I
those
and
are premium picks. Yeah, those
Yes,
picks
no,
you can
I
control.
understand. But Houston is right. They're like on that borderline, right? So a Mikal
Hmm.
Bridges might be able to help push them into the playoffs if they're not in the playoff position, or push
Hmm.
them further up the ladder if they are in playoff position. So, I mean, we're talking about what teams. Well, there are no superstars to get right now. And that to me, we've just talked about that. So.
Hmm.
I mean, you're right. The Nets are in a very, very difficult situation. What can they do? So like you said, do you tear it down and rebuild, truly rebuild? Well, to do that is you got to get draft picks.
Yep.
Come in.
Daniel Barry, appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate you stopping by the show, man. As always, man. Thank you very much. Now, looking at the Knicks now, to flip it over to the Knicks. The Knicks, of course, they won the game tonight. 113, no, 123, my fault, to 113. Now, let me give you some stats. Um,
I
Josh
know.
Hart
Yeah.
had Josh Hart had 20. Hartenstein had 12. Um, Malachi Flynn he
Hmm.
had 15.
Yeah, he did. I
Um,
peeped in a little bit, and I saw him for a
I mean,
second.
my bad. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Flynn had a couple
Okay. Yeah,
good.
no. Flynn had 6. Brunson had 27. Hartenstein 17, and
And Brunson went out big.
Achua had 17, and
Flynn had
DiVincenzo had 32.
Malachi Flynn. I thought he had more than 6 points though.
Tonight, am I looking at the right score? Yup, against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, no,
He
no, I believe it.
played
Just
11 minutes and 40 seconds, had 6 points, one
well,
assist, one rebound.
that I just thought he scored more. So, but
Nah.
the
But
question right now is with the Knicks though from tonight. To be honest with you, sorry to cut you off.
go ahead.
Is Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson with I think like 5 minutes left in the game, he twisted his ankle, and I know he
Mm,
walked to the locker room, and they were saying, he might have just had to go back to tape it up, but I didn't see the end of the game, so I don't know if he finished off. So I have to wait and see till afterwards. Are they talking about it? And then Thursday, because the way his ankle twisted, he twisted to the outside, and he
mm,
completely rolled it. So you got to swell it and you got to rehab it as fast as possible, because the Mavs are coming to town on Thursday. So
mm. Yeah, I'm hearing rumors with the Knicks are in the discussion with Murray. They're as are the Nets. Now, how do you think a player like um DeJounte Murray would fit with the Knicks?
yeah, he
How
doesn't.
do you think that
He
how you think
doesn't.
that fits,
He
Coach?
doesn't. He doesn't. He causes more problems for me. He
Mm,
he's in a sense probably a little bit more a better scorer than R.J. Barrett. But he's not a good 3-point shooter. He's okay on the defensive end. I know he won an award when he was first young, but the past few years, with Atlanta, his defense has lacked. Now, I don't know if that's because of Atlanta or because he really just does not really give the effort. And that's someone who I don't want, based on the way this team is playing. I mean, the Knicks are down. Even Jericho Sims was out today. They're down five
Yeah.
players, and they're out there balling. Now, Memphis, you know what? They're down way more players. I think they said at one point they're down 10 players. So,
Mm.
that's not a good look in a sense for the way the Knicks were playing because at one point they were up by like I think 29 points. And
Yeah. They got it got kind of tight there.
yeah, but that's also because you know what your guys are getting tired come the fourth quarter, and you don't have a lot of depth on your bench right now. Taj Gibson was out there balling or playing a lot today, so that should tell you right there in terms of the Knicks, with their depth, and then you're also playing a lot of small ball where you have Josh Hart out there, Malachi Flynn, DiVincenzo,
Mhm.
and McBride, along with Taj Gibson. So, that tells you right now you're also small balling it. So, but in terms of your initial question, how does Murray fit? For me, he's not the piece I would want with the Knicks. So now
So yeah,
the one
who?
I
Talk
would
to me.
want is with Portland, but I think they said Portland is not going to trade him. What's his name? Brogdon. Brogdon.
Oh, Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, I would rather him,
Okay.
but I saw a report that they're not trying to trade him. They're trying to play it out with the way it is. So, but I've heard Jordan Clarkson and what's his name with
Yeah, I heard
Toronto uh,
Clarkson and
and Brown.
Brown. Okay,
But the
okay.
question with that is, one reporter said, does Toronto want to do another trade with New York? Because that means you're getting Grimes and Fournier and draft picks. And to me,
Yeah, y'all basically swapping teams at that
but
point.
I'm also not of the mindset to, for Brown to give up a draft pick. I'll be honest with you. I'm not feeling that. Jordan Clarkson, I could, if you're going to give up a draft pick in Grimes, and I really don't want to give up Grimes and Fournier. I would prefer
Mm.
Fournier and a draft pick, because
Yo, hey, what's good, bro? What up, brother?
so
In the
that's
chat.
how I'm looking at it in terms of the Knicks in terms of the moves they will make. Murray is not it for me. I'll be honest. I mean, I know some people will
Mm.
kill me, and I know there's a big contingent of Knicks fans that are in love with Murray. I'm not. Because and also the other factor is he's a ball dominant guard. He's playing with one right now with Trey Young,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna bring him over here with Jalen Brunson and do the same exact thing.
Shit,
No,
yeah.
it makes no
It
sense
don't.
for me.
He fits with the Nets, I think,
Yes, he
more
does.
than the Nets.
Yes, he does. I will agree to
We
you.
we yeah, we need a point guard.
Now, the Nets, I will say this to get him, you're going to need to do a three team. You're probably going to have to do a three-team trade to get him.
Mm. Well, rumor has it, and I mean, it's rumor. Um, the Nets are being a little stingy with some of these draft picks. Whether it's receiving them or trading them, because
Hmm.
I heard rumor that they were offered two picks for Finney Smith and as much as five for Bridges. So I
Hmm.
don't know what they're looking for in a trade. Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe they're protecting Cam Thomas, and that's what teams want, which I would too. I wouldn't give Cam up. Or maybe it's Bridges. Maybe Bridges is holding up some of these deals. I don't know, but you need to kind of pick a direction. Like I said, you can't
Hmm.
have you can't have all these players on this team and not do nothing and then have players like Dinwiddie and some of these expiring contracts walk away when you can get picks for them. You don't have no picks. So to me, Finney Smith would be one of the first ones to go, and I like Finney Smith. I've I know Jeffrey used to get on me about Finney Smith, man, but I kind of warmed up to the guy a little bit. Pause. But at the end of the day, he's got to go. You got to get Royce O'Neal off this team. Dinwiddie, like some of these guys got to go, and you're gonna have to sacrifice a young player.
Well, if you're going to trade him,
it ain't gonna be Cam Thomas. Then maybe you give up Sharp. Maybe you give up one of the kids you just drafted, Clowney or one of these other guys. I don't know. But they got to figure something out.
Well, now we just talked about low-end draft picks because those guys will be fillers on other teams. Again, we just talked about that with the Knicks. And you just said that the same thing about Mikal. Isn't it going to be the same thing? Or you might
not but the talent is different, though. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about, look, if you think Mikal Bridges is a piece that you can work with moving forward, I mean, why would you flip him for a bunch of picks? Now, a guy like Finney Smith, a replaceable piece, yeah, I'm going to flip him for picks, whether they're in the first round, second round, or whatever. But I'm talking about a talented player like Cam, like Bridges. These are talents. I'm not just going to give Cam away Mikal Bridges away for a bunch of picks and a role player. I don't know if that works.
So what's the difference with Finney Smith if you're giving him away for?
Because he's not part of the future. That's why.
The question I'm asking you, okay, that's fine if you say that. But do you think you're going to get first round draft picks for him instead of maybe possibly
the reported was they turned down. Let me see if I can find this report. You can hit the link, bro, and join in if you want. The link, I threw it in the chat right there. The link is for E. So please don't click it if you're not E, the chosen one. But that's where I'm at with it, Coach. They were offered this. Rumor has it they were. Let me see if I can find this tweet.
Okay, well, if they were offered and they turned it down, then I get what you're saying.
That's also my problem.
That also says that they're, like you said initially, what you call this coaching for his job. You call this coaching. Your GM is coaching for his job. So they're trying to make the playoffs. So in essence, and in the East. Right now, I mean, are they in the playoff? I think they're in the playing position.
That 11th place, man.
So they're in playoff. They're in play-in position.
They're in striking distance, yeah, but they're not in the play-in right now.
In the play-in, it's 7.
They're out of the play-in, yeah. They're not in
7 to 10, but they're just one spot out. That's what I'm getting at. I get what you're saying in terms of that's why you need to make a decision. But if they're coaching for their job. They're saying, well, we're right there. We're one spot out. Things can happen.
2 games behind the Hawks, who are looking to move Murray. So that should tell you the direction that these two teams are going in.
So if they move Murray, that's going to tell you the Hawks are probably going to end up dropping down. So I get what you're saying. So if you're from a Nets perspective, they're saying we're in striking distance of at least the play-in. As opposed to strip it all the way down, and then you're dropping down, and guess what? Your GM and your coach is out of a job. As fans, I get it. Y'all want them gone. I get it. But if you're looking at it truly from a business perspective, from the Nets perspective, no, they're not doing that. They're not going to trade those players for draft picks. Unless like you said earlier, someone's going to give you an unprotected top 3 pick. Then you know what? Then you got to sit
there. That's what I'm talking about. A higher end pick. Now we talking. You talking about the Knicks and a couple first rounds from the Knicks, and then the picks ain't gonna be worth nothing if they winning games. Now, what you said earlier with Houston, I would entertain that because if we get our picks back now, we can talk about something because we know that those picks are probably going to be premium picks because we ain't going to be no damn good. Um,
Exactly.
and the link is in the chat. It's right here in the chat. Scroll up a little bit, you'll see it. But but yeah, let me get to a couple comments. I appreciate y'all in the chat. Eric, man, appreciate you joining in. Eric Johnson, Brunson ankle injury, Tibbs burning them out. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's because
Neymar, appreciate you. Says Brunson's ankle was okay. Um, he says they'll find out tomorrow.
yeah, and
If
Tibbs
he'll
is
be
not burning them out in that regard because you're down with players. I mean,
okay.
I normally kill Tibbs. Anyone knows me knows I kill Tibbs. But when Todd Gibson and Malachi Flynn are getting a decent amount
Shit.
of playing time, yo, that's the injury button. You're down Jericho Sims. You're down Quentin Grimes, Julius Randle. I mean, we're down 5 players out of your 12. So
Oh
that's telling you
man.
7, and then you're bringing up other guys to fill in. So nah, he's not burning them out right now. He's doing what he got to do to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just wild, man. It's just wild with this Brooklyn Nets situation, man. Nets, what's good? I see you out there, man. Appreciate you coming through. I'll let you come on in a few, but I'm waiting on E because I want to hear E's take on these on this Knicks and Nets situation. And then we'll get into the Giants. But um Nimrod says hopefully he's okay. Really need to make another move for the trade deadline, man. Yeah.
I
Well,
understand.
that's what we're talking about. Are they gonna make another move, man? And is this team a lot? Because I hear a lot of Knicks fans chirping now. I'm not taking a shot at you, coach, but these mofo's and got louder than a mug right now. You know what I'm saying? And they chirping, they talking championship, and they about to take down the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston
No,
Celtics and all
you
this.
know what?
So
You know
let's
what?
go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I get it, and I get where you're going. But you know what? Not to be funny. Wasn't it the Nets doing the same damn thing? And don't talk to me about, oh well, you had Durant and Harden and Kyrie and they didn't play together. It was the same talk. When you feeling good about your team, you're gonna talk confidently. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what?
And I'm agreeing with you here. But what I'm saying is it legit or is it smoke?
Look at the
You know what I'm
East.
saying?
Look at the East. Look at Philadelphia right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Okay?
Let's
Now
do it
look at
right now. I got
Philadelphia.
the screen. I got the screen share. Boom. Let's
Philadelphia.
take a look at this. I promise y'all we gonna get into the football, man. But we got to iron out this basketball situation here, man, because Nick fans be
No,
talking. So
no,
so
but no. You see, you're saying we're talking, but look at the East, though. Seriously, look at the East.
we looking at it. So we got here we go. Let me take the comment off the screen real quick. Um so let's
Let me turn it this
see.
way. I can
All
see
right,
it.
there we go. Now we can look at it. I'm gonna see if I could enlarge it here a little bit. All
All
right.
right, Cleveland has moved up to number 2. Okay,
Cleveland's 2, right?
and the Knicks are how
Milwaukee's
many games?
3.
The Knicks are how many games behind Cleveland? I can't see that.
The Knicks are half a game behind Cleveland
Exactly.
and Milwaukee. Right
Exactly.
now, the Knicks are 4th. They're ahead of Philly. They're ahead of Indiana. Then you got Miami, Orlando, Chicago, Atlanta, and then the poor Brooklyn Nets down there
So now
below
look
the line, which means they are out of the
Okay, we got
situation.
that. I understand. But now let's go a little back to the top right now. Go back to the top and like
Okay.
I said right now, are you confident in Boston is Boston right now? You got to respect their game and have they have a
Yeah,
loss here or
that's
there,
true.
but they're right now one of the better teams fighting for a championship in the all of NBA. Now Cleveland, do you really think Cleveland is that much better or the Knicks have the opportunity to take their spot? I say yes. The Knicks have an opportunity. Milwaukee is 1-3 since Doc Rivers has gone there. They
Yeah,
still are
that
trying to
was.
figure their way out, and they don't even play defense.
We knew that was going to be an issue, man. We
You
knew
know,
that was
can
going to
you?
be an issue, man. But they still got Dame and they still got Giannis. So um, I'm still picking the Bucks over the Knicks, the Celtics over the Knicks, and we'll see with the Cavs. We'll see with the Cavs, and if Joel Embiid comes back, I'm picking the Sixers over the Knicks. But that's a iffy situation right there over there in Philly. But and you can't count out Miami. They always turn it up in the playoffs. So it ain't like this Knicks team is just
NYG, can you send
above and
either
beyond.
NYG? Can you send NY? I mean, either the link in his
Twitter. Okay, I
yeah,
got you.
Twitter, because I can't do it because I'm on my
Yeah.
phone.
It was in the chat, but I'll send it to him on Twitter. I got you.
I see it, but I don't know if he can see it. So
Okay, all right, yeah, I got him right now. But yeah, man. So tell me this great situation that the Knicks is in, man, because to me, these teams ain't out of it. These
I'm not
man,
saying they're out of it. See, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, just like they're not out of it, neither are the Knicks. So
no, absolutely
what I'm saying is the Knicks are in position to compete for the Eastern
mm.
Conference Championship, and that's
Compete.
what I,
Yeah.
yes,
Mm.
yes. I mean, yes, you're gonna have some fans who are amped up and excited. I get it. I
Mm.
get it, but we're going to talk logically in looking at it. Let's not even talk about those other fans or whatever. If you buy into that, then you know what? You buy into that. I don't buy into that. I'm
Mm.
looking at the facts. What are these facts telling me? Philly right now is in trouble because Embiid is down. So they
Yeah.
might lose more ground than be able to come back. And then by the time he comes back, work his way back into shape. Um, the Pacers, they're going to be a scrappy team, but are they really ready to push for the top of the conference? They
It's
can
question
because
marks. Question
yes,
marks. I mean, it's question marks with all these teams. I mean,
yes,
Boston might have the least question marks about them,
exactly,
but everybody else has question marks. So I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? But my
exactly.
my thing is that see when you're a team like the Knicks and you've been so starved for success and you get a little taste of it, now don't go crazy. Like don't go crazy. You know
But
what I'm
NYG,
saying?
that's New York.
And
That's New York.
temper
No, no,
temper
that's
temper
not
your
fair because
expectations.
NYG, that's not fair because you're saying that to the Knicks, but I heard the same thing with the Nets, man. And look what
What
happened to
would
the
you hear
Nets.
with the Nets? The Nets
Bro,
fans
I
don't
heard the
talk
same.
nearly
NYG,
as much
stop
as
it.
Knicks fans.
Stop it. No, don't
Nearly as
don't don't
much.
even do that. Don't no,
Uh-uh.
that's not right. Bro, the
That's
Nets
right.
fans was talking grimy, greasy. We win the championships because we got Durant and we got
We should have
Kyrie
won
and we got
championships. It was legit.
exactly.
It was a legit argument there,
But still no is
I didn't know
yes,
they
I
was gonna shit the
understand
bed.
it. See, what you're trying to say is, well, the Knicks don't have talent like that. That doesn't mean anything. Detroit didn't have talent like that, and they won the whole damn thing
Nah,
years
the
ago.
Knicks got talent.
But
I'm
that's my
saying
point.
I'm saying that Knicks fans tend to
Yeah.
think that because they're having a little success, that it automatically means that hey, look, this is now it's now or never. You know what
Okay.
I'm
So
saying?
so
It's
what are they
now or
supposed to
never.
do? Just sit on their hands and twiddle their thumbs? That's what you're saying. That's really what you're
No,
saying.
I'm saying
Yes,
be a
you
little bit
are.
humble. You've been a dog shit franchise for
You know what? The dog.
years,
Let the dogs out.
and,
Let the dogs
and
out. They hungry.
now you
So
coming
what?
over here, you poking your chest out like
And I was saying
it's
the same damn thing about the Nets. See, You
oh,
trying to you trying to make it seem like just because the Nets had Durant and Kyrie and Harden, they had a right to do that, but the Knicks don't. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Nah, it's bullshit. You know what? If you winning, you talk smack. Period. I don't care who you got on your team. And then if you don't live up to it, guess what? You get grilled.
we beat the Nets. I mean the Knicks. We beat the Knicks
Well, you know
what,
what?
nine, 10 times in a row,
Hold on.
and then
Didn't
as
the Knicks?
soon as these
But wait a
suckers
minute, bro. Wait a
win a
minute.
game against us, they go ham.
But wait a
I
minute.
mean,
Nah, I ain't
absolutely
hear. I ain't hear nobody
berserk.
saying nothing when the Knicks put
Oh, the
30.
Nets are trash.
Wait a minute.
They
When
can't
the
even.
Knicks
They shouldn't be in the city. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, all right. Now
NYG,
he
that goes
talking.
back and forth. That goes back and
I
forth.
couldn't
Yo, that
find a
that is
Nick fan,
NYG.
man.
You know what? You see, that's the thing. You just because Knicks fans talk, you letting them get to you. To be honest, and I tell you all the time, you
I'm
giving them
enjoying it
power over
actually.
you. You
I'm
giving them
enjoying it
power.
actually.
But all I'm gonna say is when the Knicks put a 30 piece on Denver, the defending champions, everybody was being quiet and letting the Knicks have their shine. But now all of a sudden, oh, the Knicks gotta humble themselves. When they put another 30 piece on Philly with Embiid,
Hmm.
oh now and Embiid got 30 in that game, but you did your thing. But no, the Knicks gotta humble themselves. The Knicks are winning right now without some key players.
Mhm.
3 of them.
OG without OG, without Julius Randle, Grimes right now. I mean, you gotta respect that. So yeah, I understand Knicks fans stepping up because you're saying we're still winning and we don't even have our key pieces out here.
Okay, so let's talk to the chat for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm bugging, and E, I see you, bro.
Oh
Give
yeah,
me
brother.
just
I'm just
yeah.
enjoying, and I know you got to do your thing right now. I'm just
Yeah,
enjoying.
yeah. You know, me and Coach, we love the banter, man. But
Yeah.
I
um,
know.
Nimmer says we need a wing player plus Joel Embiid. So, do we
Nah, I
have
don't
a
want
chance
Joel
to make
Embiid.
it to the
I don't want Joel
championship?
Embiid. He
Yeah.
hurts too much for me. Nah, 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 nah. I like Hartenstein right where he is. Mitchell, you got to come back and you earn your stripes. But Hartenstein is doing his thing. Now I don't need Embiid for what?
Eric says Lillard is slower than a turtle going backwards.
Damn, damn. I ain't never heard of that one. That's a good one.
Oh man, D
What's up,
Dan, what's
D?
good? What's good,
So
D Dan?
well,
Appreciate you, man. Wells, what's up, man? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Um, it said I won't I won't go crazy, but don't mind me getting a little happy. Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
get it. I get it,
Can I
man. But
can I answer your question, NYG? I'm on Knicks fans.
Hmm.
Can
go
I
ahead,
can
go
I
ahead. Got it.
speak for the masses?
Go
Got it.
ahead. Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why we're so excited as Knicks fans, NYG,
Yeah.
because the makeup and design of our team was not predicted to be this successful.
Hmm.
Hmm.
This team was made up to have a trial run. You traded away two key pieces mid-season damn near for two pieces nobody even cared about. Before RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly was traded for OG Ananobi and Precious Achua, that was not even a thought process in Knicks fans'
Hmm.
eyes because they still were winning at this point. They were mid. Two acquisitions, two people let go, two fan favorites, two unknowns. You bring
Mm.
two unknowns into this franchise, and they actually play a bigger role than the two guys that was let go. They beat teams that you only seen the Knicks compete with. They beat teams that you could only see the Knicks play with for 3 quarters, and we all know what it goes to in the fourth
Hmm.
quarter. Those teams step up and step on us. Now you actually have to play basketball to win in New York, or you will lose to New York. That is why we're excited.
Hmm. Okay. I hear you. I hear you.
And we
But
beat the Nets twice, since you want to be funny.
yeah, you beat the Nets. About time. About time. You know, I like to look at the last 10, 12 game record wise and see who got the upper advantage, you know, because right now we in a little rebuild mode, but it's all good. It's all good. Now I
Greatest
will say this.
meltdown in
NYG, you
NBA
saying you in a
history.
rebuild mode, and that's what I'm like saying. You're not. You're scrapping and you're fighting for that
Bro,
playing spot.
you
Yes,
see
I
the
give you
standings
that.
up
Coach,
here? Do you see that stand in that
But
picture on the screen?
NYG, are you
Is
are
the are
you
the Nets in
and
that picture?
NYG?
Exactly.
NYG,
We're
NYG,
rebuilding.
are you in position to at least get to the play-in?
The playing don't do me no good, coach.
Okay,
I'm gonna
see
tell you
that,
why the
that, and, that,
playing
and
don't
that's where
do
you
me no
not
good.
doing that's where look at Miami. Look at
Mhm.
Miami last year. Don't sit here and say it does you no good.
You know
What
why
I'm
it does?
saying
Because
is,
look, because when you make the play-in, guess what that knocks you out of? Well, I guess it don't matter because we don't have picks.
oh,
But
so now you're gonna
if
go into
if you
this.
were
Mm-hmm.
if you were to make the play-in, here's how the NBA works. I know you know, but I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
speak for the chat. You don't make the playoffs, you enter in what's called a lottery. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter if you're the first or the 15th or whatever seeded it would be. I think it's less now, probably like 10 teams in the
Mm-hmm.
lottery. So you're one of those 10 teams that can get the first overall pick. You
No, no,
have a
no.
shot.
The playing,
Now, if you
the playing. If you're in the playing, if you don't make the playoffs, you go back into the lottery.
go back into the lottery,
Yes,
okay, thanks for
yes.
clearing that up. So, again, what good is the play-in doing us right now? Because if we get to the playoffs, all we're going to do is be a practice run for Boston or fucking Cleveland or whoever,
And hold on,
Milwaukee.
and
But
NYG. That was a perfect, perfect analogy. That's why Knicks fans are happy. We make it
NYC.
to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't getting waxed by none of them teams. They got to deal with us now.
Yeah, I mean,
But NYG,
and that's good for the Knicks. Go
but here's
ahead.
the other thing. Here's the other thing, NYG. Based on what you
Hater.
just said, a play-in does you nothing. The play-in does you more than making a lottery because you already said it. Your draft picks go to Houston. So why not fight to make the play-in? That at least have something. You're gonna lose, and then you're gonna give all your picks over to Houston. That makes no sense to me. At least let me
Yeah.
scrap and fight for the play-in, and if I get into the play-ins, I have an opportunity.
I mean, yeah, they're fighting for the play-in. They are. I'm just from my standpoint, I don't give a damn about the play-in. I need to see a direction with this team, you know,
Okay.
and making the play-in or making the playoffs. That might save Jock Vaughn's job, and that's the last thing I want. This mofo need to get up out of here.
I
He's
got
a
to ask
poor
you a
coach.
question, NYG.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 years ago, and I would love to. I would like to go back to this because this is important to me. 3 years
Mm-hmm.
ago,
Not
when
this.
you guys acquired three of the top superstars in the NBA and gave out almost 300 plus million in contracts,
Mm-hmm.
did you see yourself 4 years later being right here?
Ah, come on, baby.
Man, it's no way, man. It's no way you would thought that. And even still,
I
not
love you.
having KD on his team, not having Kyrie on
Hmm.
his team, I'm fine with. The biggest problem Nets have is a problem that where's the number 10 that gives you about 10 games a year, that gives you about 10 minutes a game, that scores less than 10 points a game. 10 is the problem with the Nets. If you would have gotten if you get some production, think of
Who's
somebody
that?
that stays think of somebody that stays injured a lot, Chris
Who,
Paul or somebody like that.
who's 10?
If you 10 is
Yeah,
Ben
who's 10?
Simmons.
I didn't even know he was still alive. I apologize. And
yeah,
I'm not talking about his physical body. I'm talking
yeah,
about his basketball life. I didn't even know he
yeah.
was still in existence. Wow.
Because he's not. He doesn't do anything out there.
Right.
You know,
Ghost in the
and
machine.
yeah, and that's the biggest problem right now with this team. You're getting no production from this cat. Nothing. Okay, tonight Ben Simmons had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 20 minutes.
No, let me go
And
look
we
at that. See what that look like.
and we lost um by 12 points.
What's up, Alex? But you know what, NYG, I get you with what you're saying about Ben Simmons. But
Big
is
Alex, what up?
but
What's up, Alex,
wasn't it
man? Appreciate you
what
coming through,
it
bro.
either it was either that or you kept James Harden. Which is it now? You see, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a pick the
Y'all cry
poison.
about
But
one
I will
thing.
say Fat Boy, at least he's on the court.
So then you
At least
didn't. Then
Harden's on
you.
the court.
But all I kept hearing was trade him. You don't want him. He quit on the team. Get rid of him.
Yes,
All
and
this stuff.
they traded him for the worst possible player you could have
But
gotten.
nobody in the league wanted him, NYG. That's the problem.
Nobody wanted Ben Simmons either. You know
Okay,
how
and
long
that's
Philadelphia
fair,
was trying to offload
but
Ben Simmons' contract
but see,
before they traded him?
you're trying to lessen trading James Harden when every damn Nets fan, where everybody in the NBA said the Nets got to get rid of him. Now all of a
Coach,
sudden it's a
traded.
problem.
It is a problem when you look. You know, I can say, hey, look, I want to trade my Honda Accord, but then I trade my Honda Accord for a Cutlass with no motor. Yeah, I got rid of the Honda Accord, but I got a Cutlass with no motor.
But
So
bro, I get what
good
you're
is that
saying. But the point I'm making is y'all were all, what I'm saying is y'all were all bitching about Ben Simmons. Now all of a sudden it seems like, well, we shouldn't have traded Ben Simmons. I mean, not Ben Simmons, James Harden. That's
No,
what
I
it said.
never said that. No,
But
no, no, no,
bro,
no, no,
that's all.
no.
But
You're
if you
twisting my
couldn't get
words
anything,
now.
no, that's not. I know you're not literally saying that, but
Mm-mm.
what you really are saying unintentionally is that we shouldn't have traded Ben Simmons for. I mean, traded James Harden for Ben Simmons. That's really what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should have traded
Okay,
James Harden
so
for somebody else.
but you
You would have
couldn't
got more
get
from a
anybody
backup.
else. But that's the point.
Man,
You could not get
did not
anyone else.
no, you're wrong. And respectfully, Philadelphia got rid of James Harden when everybody and their mama under a rock knew they was trying to
But he
trade for him, and
played
they
with
still
Philly
got
first.
something for him.
But he played with Philly first to elevate his value. He played with Philly first to get that value back up.
People
He didn't
knew
do
who
that with
James
the
Harden
Nets.
was. He didn't need to play. He doesn't.
Okay.
A damn veteran. I guess he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. He doesn't need to play games to corroborate his
Okay.
value. What
All
they needed to do was pick a better trade partner
And
and get more for him
didn't you
for
say that
Harden.
when Harden was here? Because I remember you saying it. The Nets are not going to be able to get anything for Harden because nobody in the league wants Harden. You said that at that time.
I said that about Ben Simmons. I never
No,
said
you
that
said
about
that
Harden.
before. No, yes,
I don't
you
remember
did.
that. I don't remember saying that about Harden.
And
I
that's
know I
my
said that
point.
about Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I know that.
We
Yes,
can't.
you said that about Simmons, but my point being is you never complained. You just wanted to get rid of James Harden for anything, and you couldn't get him for
I would
anything.
have. No, that's
Oh, wait a
I
minute, if
would.
I'm
I would have.
mistaken,
I would have never. I would have. No, I
LA,
would
he
have never
wanted
said
to go to LA, but LA was only offering y'all second round draft picks, if I'm not mistaken, for James Harden.
that. Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, LA would have taken him off your hands, but it was for second round because his value, because of his play,
The
because
Clippers?
he was out of shape. Yes, the Clippers. Because he
No,
ultimately
I
didn't.
think
He
you.
say
I
he
think
wanted
you're
to.
talking about the. I think you're talking about. I think you're confusing me with us with the Sixers. The Sixers are the ones that had the Nets. The Nets could have got more for James Harden. When he got to the Sixers, yeah, his value definitely decreased, and they got lucky getting what they got out of for James Harden. When he was on the Knicks, he had trade value, and they just buckled and just gave him up for fucking Simmons. It was dumb. I can't justify it. It was a dumb
You're a
trade.
Nets fan. I don't know. Maybe I am confused and stuff because the stuff that I
Yeah,
remember
I don't.
that
I
James
don't
Harden
recall
was
that.
too fat. He lost his value. Nobody in the league wanted him anymore. But when he went to Philadelphia, he lost his weight, and he was starting to be the in vogue player with Philly and everything. And then things changed in that second year in Philadelphia.
Mm.
That's what I remember. Y'all tell me if my memory is wrong. So
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was another fan. It wasn't NYG22 because I know damn well I would have. I wouldn't have said trade
okay.
James Harden for freaking Ben Simmons. There's
Okay,
no way
you're
in
saying
hell.
that now. So ultimately, you're saying just for you trade him. Ultimately, yes, you wanted to trade James Harden. So I'm not saying you did not want to trade him, but you're just saying you didn't want to trade him just to get rid of him and end up with Simmons. That's what you're
No,
saying.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not gonna try. I'm not. Look, man. Ben Simmons wasn't even playing. He was
Okay.
injured. Why would I? Why, coach? You know me, bro. Why would I want to
Mhm.
trade for an injured player? Come on.
Okay, that's fine. Bottom line is what I'm saying right now. To this point, though, you guys are still in position or play in position, and you still have something to play for. Because if not, you're not getting anything in the draft. There's no reason for y'all to play for the lottery. If you have more
Yeah,
to play for the play in, and that's what I think you guys are doing now. Do I think y'all should try for Murray? Hell yeah! Even in a 3-team trade, y'all should do what you can do to get him, other than giving up Bridges and Cam Thomas. But everyone else,
yeah.
yeah, do what you got to do.
Everybody else is um is on deck, man. But
Yes.
let's get into the Giants real quick because I don't want to be on here too long. Um, so now this thing with these coaches, man. I had a excellent a excellent video I was going to do, man, but then they went and hired a defensive coordinator, then a tight ends coach. So kind of like, all right, man, let me just talk about it on Heart of the City. Just get it all out in the open. So that's what we're gonna do here right now. Y'all hit that like button, man. Please hit the like button. Share the show, share the video if you don't mind. Consider subscribing to the channel. It's free content. Whether you agree with my unpopular opinions or not, I'm here to give everybody a voice. We interact with the chat. We have people on the panel, so on and so forth. So that said, I'm gonna bring old Mets to the panel. Behave, Mets. I don't have to kick you off the show. I don't like doing that. But we're gonna talk about the Giants. So, they hire Shane Bowen as the DC and then Tim Kelly as the tight end coach, both of the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I like first, and then I'm gonna tell you what I don't like, and then we can go around the room and in the chat or whatever. So Shane Bowen of the Tennessee Titans, he runs a 3-4, so we get to keep some continuity there. Although I've heard he prefers nickel more than a base defense, but I'll leave that to coach to talk about the X's and O's. And he has been a defensive coordinator before, so you get that experience. You get that experience factor. His defenses, from what I've gathered, were pretty stout against the run, pretty stout in the red zone. So we should have a decent scoring defense, if that is the case, because what do you have to be good at? Stopping the run and preventing scores in the red zone, holding teams to field goals, yada, yada, yada. Kind of like Pat Graham, a little bit. But this is a different guy, has experience, of course, and he is a younger coach. I think he's 37, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of an up and coming coach. So those are the good points. The not so good. They haven't been that great against the pass. Also, of course, not being the first choice. We've seen this before with Brian Dable, where he wanted, I think it was Frazier, when he got the job and had to settle for Wink Martindale. That is a fact. So, and just nothing against Shane or anything like that. More to me, speaking on Brian Dable, is the fact that you kind of want to subordinate. Now, that could be a good thing. You don't want people ruffling your feathers or whatever, man. But it just, I don't know. Me personally, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. Just this whole situation with the DC and with Bowen and I mean with Wink and them not getting their first couple of choices. Remember, it was both Bobby Babich and Denard Wilson that I would told were 1-2 on their list. Had to settle for the third guy. He might be the best guy. We don't know. Like I said, it's not a knock on him. I've heard good things about Mr. Bowen. It's more of a knock on the current coach and the process that they went through. Now with Kelly as a tight end coach, he was actually the OC for Tennessee. So they get the OC and the DC again. That's a good thing. You have somebody experienced at calling plays. Maybe Mike Kafka leaves. Maybe he gets fired in the middle of the season. You have an in-house coach, knows how to call plays, been a coordinator before, somebody you can work with, another younger guy, up and coming coach in the league. So good things by the Giants, definitely getting these taken care of before the Super Bowl. I would have hated for them to have to wait after the Super Bowl to get these coaching hires in place. But those are kind of my pros and cons of these hires. Not too many cons because we don't know a lot about particularly the tight end coach, but Shane Bowen either. We don't know what they're gonna do here as far as personnel. We kind of still learning these guys a little bit, man. But so I'm not gonna be like critical of them. I'm more critical of Dable and this whole shit show that he's garnering or whatever, man, with these coaches, man. But I rambled. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Coach. I see y'all in the chat. But Coach, man, what's your thoughts on the Shane Bowen hire and then Tim Kelly as a tight end coach? Then we'll go to E and then we'll get your opinion on the Mets.
Here's what I want you to do because I want to go last. Let Ian Mets go, and then I'm gonna put a bow on it from there.
Okay, all right, E, if you're there, give me your thoughts on the.
I was gonna let the brother man go before me, of course.
Coach passed it to you, and then so we got it.
All right. Well, it's a couple of things on this topic, right, that we need to discuss. We always look at the hierarchy as leadership, right? Mm-hmm. The motivators, the people who are going to get the people in the building, right? So we got to look at it from the standpoint of what it is. At this point last year, what was this team?
It was a
knocked
team,
out, right?
Team that was.
Let him talk.
No, that's why. Go ahead. I want actually this brother to speak first, and I'll go after him. Go ahead.
It was a team that was basic. It was a team that essentially overachieved, believed its own hype after getting to the divisional round last season, and was riding a high, unaware that their world was going to come crashing down the following season because of stagnation, incompetence, hierarchical infighting, bad hirings, circumvention and sabotage, injuries. And just basically everyone's sniffing out what we were going to do before we even do it. That's what this team was coming out of last year, going into this.
Yeah, I agree with you here, Alex. He says, I think first year you'll see the Pat Graham defense, zone coverage with the bend but don't break, but tight red zone defense. Now, I will say this. Bend but don't break defense, I don't mind. If your offense is scoring points. Your offense has to put some pressure and be able to put up some points. If you got a dog crap offense, then you're not bend but don't break. It ain't. You're gonna tire your defense out.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it,
which
damn
is
it.
something we haven't been able to do
Yeah.
for the most part in the last 3 years.
All right, NYG.
Mm-hmm.
I have a chart that I want to give. I'm going to give to you. I'm gonna drop out for a second. I'm gonna send it to you in your Twitter chat. You can pull it up because it's actually going to go over a lot of the coverages that he ran last year against each individual opponent. You will see a whole
Okay.
lot more in terms of what this guy is going to do and how he game plans for particular opponents. But I'll get into what my thoughts are on him, his schemes, and
Okay.
so on and so forth. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna hit you in 1 minute.
Okay. All right.
All right, is that my go
But
or I'm
yeah,
still
you
waiting?
got it now, E.
Okay. So you guys hit on two profound points. And what I wanted to say, was simple. This time last year, we were a team that some people felt overachieved, right? That's okay. That's okay to feel that way. But
Yeah.
it did not stop the happiness. It did not stop the cheer. It did not stop feeling great finally after so many losing seasons because we all know football is a different type of atmosphere. It's a different type of challenge. Winning a couple of games in the NFL is a problem in itself, but having to clinch a playoff spot with a team that, when you look at the roster, was not as talented as many teams as they beat during the regular season and the team that they beat in the playoffs, right? People can talk about whatever Minnesota's defense was. You still got to play offense. The team
Facts.
came out and played some of its best offense in that playoff game.
Or
Balanced attack, down by 14, away on the road, claim victory. So when people say overachieved, I can respect what you're saying, but we actually just achieved enough for a team with that talent playing last season that was galvanized. And I brought all of that up to come right back to my initial point of who we are now this season right here. Not one of us on this phone, on this chat, on this panel, on this show thought the New York Football Giants would be in the state that they are in right now. And I am not talking about record wise. I'm talking about the state of the team. We never thought that this team would have to address needs such as a defensive coordinator, block an offensive coordinator from actually moving on and actually picking names out of a hat that we have to Google in order to recognize where they came from.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not one of us thought we would be right here. We're trying to find good traits from people we don't know so we can feel better about what we're doing. Each and every one of us.
Big time facts, bro.
which
Well
is
said. Well
ridiculous.
said. And that's how I've been feeling, man. Like I've been on Dable's neck. Since the end of the season, since
You
this
been
whole
on his
Wink
neck?
Martindale
You been on his
pause.
neck?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just not. It just don't look good. Now, all this can go away. We could sit back and laugh at this thing, when the Giants, if Giants in the playoffs next year, whatever, and they seem to be moving in the right direction, man. But this is just, it smells bad, man.
Okay.
It smells bad, man. But Coach,
All
I
right.
got your
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. But in terms of the organizational dysfunction, all right, and I've said it on a couple different places. Right now, Dable for me is on the hot seat. All right. Yes, I understand the perception, and perception is reality, which is why some coaches did not want to come here and others are trying to leave because they feel nothing concrete. It's just a perception. Dable may be on the hot seat and and if he doesn't produce, he's on his way out. And who wants to come here possibly as a coach on a one shot opportunity? Now, Bowen, he's been a coach in the league. he probably wants to try and rebrand himself, so he's taking a shot on himself and what he does in his schemes. Now, in terms of what he does defensively, he does not blitz as much as Wink. We all know that. But his percentage, I've been told, is anywhere from 36 to 40%, which is still probably putting you in the top 10 to maybe the upper teens.
Mm-hmm.
So he is going to blitz. Now he's going to do different things with his blitz. He's going to give you some movement. Wink did not give you movement. He did not give you stunts. He is going to give you stunts in terms of that. You said it earlier. He's good in the run defense. There has been questions about the pass defense in Tennessee. Now on the flip side, did Tennessee have the talent on the back end that New York has or had? Because right now we don't know what's up with Xavier McKinney. Remember, McKinney did perform under Patrick Graham's system, where he was a too high type of a coach and he rotated his coverage. Bowen
Mm-hmm.
does the same thing. He'll do a lot of too high. He'll rotate to bring the safety down to take away the crossers, which is called a robber. He'll do a lot of what is a cover two invert. And what do I mean by that? That means your safeties are going to come down out of a too high, and they're going to basically look for crossers, or probably going to match up a little bit. But your cornerbacks are going to rotate back, and they're going to play cover two. So it's
Appreciate you coming through, Earl. Appreciate you,
True.
bro.
Yo, what's up, Earl? So it's giving the quarterback a different look, which forces him to process a little bit more. So, but again, they'll do different things. They'll run middle linebacker crosses. They'll stunt the nose guard with one of the defensive tackles or the linebacker. So that's an advantage for Dexter also. They've even shown where they're going to wash the outside linebacker and the 3 5 tech, and then have the nose tackle loop to the outside, which an offensive line is not going to be prepared for. So it's just a lot of different movement in terms of his blitz packages. But yes, he's also going to play back in coverage. He's going to give
Mhm.
you quarters. He's going to give you everything. Now go ahead and bring up that sheet I sent you, NYG.
Okay, I got you. First, Earl, appreciate you coming through. Alex with the blitz stats right there.
Mm-hmm.
It says, pop opinion, talent is comparable to Tennessee. Unsure cornerback situations, similar safety talent. Jeffrey Simmons
Mm-hmm.
similar to Dex. Tibbs could be
Be
Landry.
Landry.
I
Exactly.
actually agree with that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with that. And that's the same thing I was thinking. As soon as I heard of this guy, I was like, okay, Jeffrey Simmons immediately came to mind,
Mm-hmm.
and how he
Mm-hmm.
was doing over there. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the safety Byard, who they got
Yeah, Bayer, yeah.
yeah, sent to Philly. So yeah, it actually is now. I'm gonna bring
Did
up
they
the
have a
chart
number one cornerback like we have with Banks though?
here. Uh
No, I don't believe
No,
they
they
did.
did not. No, they did not.
So, and that's where I'm see, because
but I
ultimately,
don't think their corners were terrible.
no, they're not
Um,
terrible, but what it is they don't. I don't believe they had a dog like we have with Banks. And Banks, even though he's a rookie, he's a dog and he's developing. And we
mhm,
all say Jerome Henderson is one of the best teachers of playing defensive
absolutely.
backs. Now, if you take a look at this is going to give you a breakdown. At the very bottom of that, it gives you each team they played last year, and then going up, it will tell you through color code and what they and the percentages, whether they played cover one, whether they played two man, which is two deep safeties and man underneath,
Mhm.
whether they played quarters, cover zero. It tells you everything, how much, what's the percentages. Okay,
Oh yeah,
that
it is.
that he's playing right there. So you see, and per team. So you go across the bottom and you'll look at each team. Yes, you're going to adjust according to what that team plays. But I love something like this because many people talk analytics and they talk numbers.
Looking, I don't see. It's
You don't see
interesting.
what?
teams weeks 1 through 18. Titans frequent
Yeah, you see
coverages.
the Saints. You see the Saints.
Okay, this year. This is who they played. I
Yes,
was
that's what I'm talking about.
oh,
This year, you see the
nah.
breakdown.
You know what I was looking for though, right? I was looking for Philly, Dallas,
I'm
or
sorry.
Washington, and
No.
see what he
What?
played, how he did against them, but it
No,
didn't
no, no,
show.
no. What I'm saying is it's showing you the adjustment. You can look
Yeah.
at what his
Mhm.
coverage is and what they do, in terms of who they're playing. Yeah, you're going to try and look at and guess who they were playing. Injuries play into that also. But ultimately, in terms of their defensive pass coverage, you look at what they play the most. And the most is usually the bluish or the greenish color, which is, I can't see
Mhm.
what that is.
Cover
What's
one. The
cover
blue
one?
is the light blue is cover one.
And the
The
green is
green is cover three.
and that's standard in
And
teams
then
that.
the orange is cover four, which it looks
Hmm.
like they play a good amount of that against.
They play more yellow than they do the orange though.
They play more cover four, it seems like, against teams that run the ball. I'm looking at
Hmm.
Cincinnati, I'm looking at
Hmm.
Baltimore,
Hmm.
I'm looking at the
Hmm.
Falcons, I'm
And
looking
what
at
that
Tampa
allows you to
Bay.
do, that allows you to play back a little bit, but you can still come up and run support. Your safeties
Mm,
now are reading, and they can come down into the box and play a little bit more in run support because you're going to be keen on the tight end if you have a tight end in blocking. So, and
mm,
that's some of
Can
the
I
things
can I
that.
say something to you,
Go ahead.
Coach? And
Go ahead.
why?
Go
mm,
ahead, bro.
What's going on right here is we have to factor in two things, right? When
Mm-hmm.
we look at this breakdown, it gives us the coverages and packages. We have to factor in two things. He's going to inherit more talent.
Mm-hmm.
Those numbers are going to be bigger and
mm,
and higher in certain percentages, and you may lose one number. We may never see cover 9 again because he'll
Mm-hmm.
play so much cover 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in the NFC East. Remember, where the
yeah.
blue starts off at is the base package. The
Yep.
team obviously played enough to stay close into the games. Then they had to figure out what the other team was doing, whether they were running the ball, as you aforementioned in YG, or whether
Mm-hmm.
they were passing the ball. And when you look at the team with more of a passing attack, it's less of a base package.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have to base his packages off the teams we play and the talent he's going to face, but
Bingo.
most of all, the talent that he actually has to perform the best that he can in situational football. How many of these games did they lose? What was the Titans' record?
Uh,
They were under us. I think they were
then
7-12. Yeah, I think
think it
we
was
were.
6-10 or 7-9 or
No,
some
because
shit.
we were 6-11, so they were six and
Oh yeah,
eleven.
so they were 7-10. I think they were 7-10.
So they were
Uh,
one game. They were one
no,
game.
they were 6-11. It's the same exact record.
But they're
Okay.
behind us. Yeah, they're right behind us.
Hmm. And I could tell you who
So
they beat. Just give me
talk
a
to
second.
me. Talk to me, because this is important, Coach. You definitely want to
Hmm.
hear this.
How did their
So
season? That's the thing. Then I'm looking at their first start of the season. Did they beat the Saints?
Titans schedule here. Um, let's see what we got.
And on the flip
Yeah,
side of the
they
ball,
lost to the
Coach, you have to
Saints.
understand they're a running team, so
Yeah,
they
no,
control the clock. So those base packages are gone.
They
no, I
lost to the Saints. They
uh-huh.
beat the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to the Browns. They beat the
Hmm.
Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to the Colts. Lost to the Ravens. Beat the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to Pittsburgh. Lost to Tampa Bay. Lost to Jacksonville. Beat Carolina. Lost to Indy. Beat the Dolphins. Lost to Houston. Lost to Seattle. Lost to Houston again. And beat Jacksonville. Those are so they basically, to run it down, they basically beat the Chargers, Bengals, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, and Jaguars.
And lost to all the higher running teams.
Yep.
I'm also factoring the injury situation with them. They also had problems at
Outside of
quarterback.
the Falcons run a pretty good much
Yeah,
right
they
now.
run about that.
And don't
Yeah,
forget
outside of that.
offensively they have issues with their quarterback. So
Yeah.
I mean those are in terms of personnel trying to
Hmm.
play complementary football. Yes, what my main point with this is showing you this coach how he will adjust what he's doing. And yes, some of the packages cover three and cover one are a lot of base which also
Hmm.
emphasizes taking away the run because that's an extra safety
Right.
back in the box. So
Mhm.
and that's the one thing that you want to look at, which we talked about. They're good at taking away the run. Well, this is
Hmm.
something that this helps you look at that. Yes, it's past coverages, but it's giving you, like E said, your base sets. Now, yes, they're going to
Mhm.
run some little intricate things behind it. I mean, he's send blitzes where he's running a what I call 33 on the back end, which is 3D, three under, and which is a zone concept, but he's still sending a blitz. So it's giving you a little bit of the zone along with a blitz along with it. How do they surprise it? They run some overload. They run so many different twists, to it that this guy is, and I'm more of a wait and see right now with him
Mhm.
about what he's going to do because when I saw this and I look at the breakdown, I even said me I probably will run a little bit more cover zero based on certain situations. He doesn't run it as much as me, but this gives me a little indicator that who he is. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to blitz crazy like Wink, but at least I know
Mhm.
he's not afraid to blitz and he's not
Yeah.
just going to sit back and zone all day long. That we could sit here and as fans we're going to get frustrated. Now he may end up being a bust, all right. But me personally, I'm giving him an opportunity. I'm waiting to see what he's going to do. This is a different situation. I feel defensively we had more talent on the back end in comparison to
Absolutely.
what they do, what they did.
Absolutely.
Now, on the front end, we do have to fill in, what are we doing with Ashawn? Is he coming back? I've heard Nacho is on the roster, but then it might be dead. I mean, it might be void years. I don't
Mhm.
know. Who do we draw? I mean, what are we doing in the draft, or who are we bringing back in free agency? Now, Shane, our GM, now has to give this guy the tools so he can go out and coach.
Mhm.
So that's why me personally, I'm giving a wait and see. Many are like, oh, he was Tennessee and they had a losing season, so he sucked. Well,
Nah, yeah, I don't
Wink
buy
went
into
out of
that.
here. We wanted Wink back, but yet and still we were the same record, but he's highly regarded, right? But yet and
Right.
still, Wink hasn't gotten another job also. Dable, I'm not absolving Dable. Dable has some shit he gotta fix. I mean,
Mhm.
this soap opera is like Days of Our Lives mixed in with General Hospital. Yo, we shouldn't be having to deal with this, man. It should be like he
Fact.
said. It
Or
should be.
loving.
This is a business. Let's handle yourself like a business. Go coach these men. Be a leader of men, and let's get back to winning football. Because ultimately, that's all I care about. I want to see the New York Football Giants win football games. Period. And I don't care who the coaches are. Dable, if it's you, let's go. If you bring in someone else, let's go. Bowen, you're the DC, let's fucking go. And as far as the
Mhm.
tight end coach, being the OC, yes, he's going to be able to give some insight into because he has been a play caller. He sees the game from that perspective. So he can help, whether it's inserting in the run game because the tight end works with both the
Yes, we need
receivers
help in
and
the
the
run
offensive
game,
line.
man. Yeah,
So
we need. Yeah, go ahead.
and that's where I want to see what he does. I mean, what remember, he also had a beast of a running back in Derrick Henry. For
Yeah,
everything that people want to say about him, he
got
has
one in New York
stout
if they
running
keep him.
game, so he can say to Dave's, Dave's, look, I know you the way you want to use the running back is different, but you know what? Maybe you want to get a bell cow, especially if Saquon is gone. Me and Stas have talked about,
Shit, Derrick Henry a free agent.
Derrick Henry, but
Just
in the
throwing it
draft
out there.
You have two backs that I'm keeping my eye on is Audric Estime from Notre Dame and Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. Allen is a bigger back, so he's definitely in between the tackle. He's about 240, 250 pounds, but Estime is about 230 pounds, and he's a one cut back that'll get upfield. And one of the biggest things, I mean, call me a homer. He's from Jersey. He played at one of the top high schools in New Jersey, St. Joseph's, and he knows how to handle the New York market, so he won't be afraid. So, and he's played at a top
That's
school.
Edwards, right?
No, that's
That's the estimate.
Estimate,
Okay.
yes.
Let me
Allen
let me
played
say
at,
this, Coach, to you.
yeah. Go ahead.
This is the part, right,
Mm-hmm.
where we put our brains where it should be, and I do believe we do that.
Mm-hmm.
You go get that boy regardless. You know
Mm-hmm.
why?
Mm-hmm.
Because pairing that up with a Saquon Barkley and still having that on the roster in case anything happens to Barkley. We know he's injury prone. He didn't tough it out for 2 seasons, but we already know what he is, and we don't have a problem with him. Right? One of the best backs, if not the best running back in the NFL, talent wise, when he's healthy, right? Or top
Mm-hmm.
three, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You go get that bruiser and take that pain and punishment off him. So when
Exactly.
they're down at that red zone level, 8 yards and shorter, you can hand the ball off. One, you help your
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. Two, you help your
Mm-hmm.
offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Three, you have a system that controls the clock when you're running the
Mm-hmm.
ball, and you have a fresh offense the next time you come on the field because everybody relied on the bell cow. That's how
Exactly.
Eli Manning won so many games with a Brandon Jacobs and an Ahmad Bradshaw. Change of pace backs that were productive, that he didn't have to throw the ball 35 times. So when it came to the fourth quarter comebacks, his arm was fresh.
There's one other factor, and two other factors. All right. Number one, like you talked about the red zone, but don't forget the short yardage. How many times in short yardage have we, cried about either he's going spread offense in 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and or when you do, you just run to Barkley in a basic dive, and he's back there dancing around. Well, now
And
you
he's
have a
and he's
big back
tackled for a
like this.
loss.
Exactly. Now you can have
Yep.
a big back like this who's going to maybe in the first quarter they're going to get some stops, but come the fourth quarter, then you're going to be seeing him dragging those same guys for
I hope they
two,
get a
three, four
fullback,
yards.
bro.
So, and the other
Because that
factor is,
that old line coach, yeah, he
Mhm.
likes to use a fullback. If you get a fullback, if the Giants go into this next season really committing to running the football like they should have did last year, I think this can be a pretty good team in 2024. And I'm gonna tell you why, because scheme matters. It
Yes, it
does.
does.
And when
Hmm.
I watch the Giants, everybody talks about the run game. They have a horrible, the pass game. They have a horrible run game scheme, in my opinion.
Hmm.
It's terrible. Now, you bringing in this coach from the Titans, well, I just mentioned Derrick Henry,
Hmm.
was obviously a key part of that. And this guy from the Raiders, like I said, who likes to use a fullback in his run schemes. So to me, that to me should be where this team should be going. I don't really care what the fans want. They want this. They want wins, but they want the wins to look pretty. I don't
May I
care
ask you a
about that.
question, NY?
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
May I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What was the success of the last remaining 6 teams from the AFC and the NFC? What was the success of those teams when they played each other, right?
Yeah.
What
Team.
happened to the one team that's bread and butter was to run the ball all season and got away from it, and look what it cost them? They
Yeah.
played the worst game of the season at the worst time, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore
Team.
Ravens are a four-headed running back team, including the quarterback in total. You got Dalvin Cook, Justin Hill, Gus Edwards, and Lamar Jackson. And you got away from the thing that has been beating teams down all season. And look what happened to you.
know what else? To your point, when San Francisco got down against the Lions, who did they turn to? Christian McCaffrey in the running
Christian
game.
McCaffrey.
So we
And
watched the
how did the
game.
Lions beat up the 49ers in the first half?
Yeah.
Montgomery and
Yeah.
Gibbs.
Yep.
How
Don't
did
forget.
how did Kansas City beat up on the Ravens? Pacheco.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, there's also the factor in too with the run game. The run game helps your defense, and that to me is also that goes to complementary football, and that's very important. And it helps keep your defense fresh, so when it goes back out there, they can fly all over the place. I
Now,
mean, and
let me
that's
throw
go ahead.
let me throw a couple things out here.
Yes,
For
from
you
your guard
guys.
position. Yep.
Miz, I see you. I see y'all in the chat. Let me get to the chat for a minute. Says the
It's
Giants
time
should
for
draft
me to talk.
Yes.
inside
Defensive.
back a few good ones down in Mobile this week. Shout out to Alex, Big Warner Bronx,
Yes.
for those excellent interviews, that excellent insight. Alex, man, we appreciate you, bro, for going down there, man, doing your thing. You know, representing, you know, not only yourself but us as the crew, you know, giving us insight, giving us interviews, keeping us posted on everything, man. Excellent job, man. And you on your way, brother. You on your way, man. You know, we want to see you on the radio and on TV and all that too, man. You on your way, man. Just be patient, man, and keep grinding, man. But
look, you talking about interior defensive linemen. Those two Texas boys, man.
yeah,
Mm.
most definitely. But I want to ask you something real quick. Right when I get through the chat here, real quick. We need help at the guard position.
Yes,
Absolutely, absolutely. Is that RB going to be there though? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm wondering about what round that RB
they're
is going
like
to
a
be taking.
fifth. They're anywhere from the fifth to the
Yeah,
sixth round, somewhere in that
yeah.
range.
I think Estime will be there in the fourth round if we wanted him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with it. Fourth or later, I'm good with it. Not in the
yeah.
second or third round.
No,
Um,
no, they're not there.
Marshawn
Mm,
Lloyd.
mm,
He's
mm. That's an interesting one. I didn't think about that one. That all right. I'm gonna go
Edwards could
look
get
back at more.
more
You know.
elusive than a power back, though.
For him.
We might need both. If Saquon ain't here, you know what I mean? Depends on how y'all feel about Eric Gray, but
We don't
Yeah.
feel nothing about Eric Gray.
Look, I'm gonna say this: if we block it the right way, Eric Gray is a one cut back. He's not gonna be the one to get you downfield, but you know what? He's gonna run tough. You know, he's not gonna be dancing back there. That's the one thing, Ian. Especially with inside zones, sometimes you got to get in that hole and you got to get skinny and you got to fight. And sometimes with Saquon, he wants to get to the outside and he wants to explode. And that's his talent. I get it, but you know what? Eric Gray will get you, some good yardage up inside. Now, if we don't get anybody, then
Now,
we gotta scheme up for him.
but coach, that comes back to the point, and I think I don't know if it was Iman Perry or somebody, but I could be corrected. I just look at the chat real quick and I take my eyes back off the screen. That's just me. But somebody said the guard position.
Yes.
When you run inside zone, the biggest part of your offensive line is your inside guard position.
Yes.
Those three people have to be in sync. Your center and your two guards have to have that scheme down pat where either they're going to roll grade, they're going to pull, or they're going to be able to stretch the defense to open up those small holes where that running back has that vision enough to have that one cut in the ground, north-south running style. You know who would be the perfect running back for this scheme? Nick Chubb. You see
Yes.
how he does that? That's the running back that you want. That's the kind of prototype running back you want to look for in this draft. If you realize the scheme that we're going to run, which is a gap stretch, by the way, we're going to run a gap stretch scheme. That's what he runs. Nick Chubb is the type of running back you want to look for. You know who else is the guy? in that scheme, Blake Corum. If you want a running back right now, you go get a Blake Corum in that type of scheme.
And I think
I like Blake Corn, but I
I think
think he might go a little bit higher than in the draft.
no, I think if I'm not mistaken, Alex, correct me. I think he's listed as a 6th-rounder.
Yo,
Ooh.
they got Corum from 4 to 6 right now.
Wow.
He's listed from 4 to 6 right now.
Yep.
No, I'm with you. You know, especially Alex did a great interview for that offensive lineman, and I know some people might cringe when I say this, but that offensive lineman from Oregon, the kid is a beast. He
Oh, I
really
thought you
is.
was gonna say the one from Washington. We good.
No. Fashano is going. Right now, I think he wants to play tackle, left tackle, and I think he's going probably like around somewhere to 15 to 17 in the first round. So.
Fatano.
Fatano, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He's going. Now, if
Breezy, what's good,
they're on
bro?
the
What's good,
back
Breezy?
end of the first round and you want to
Appreciate
trade
you,
up to
bro.
get him, then do what you got to do. But yeah, Fatano is going to be. He's going in the first round if that's what you're talking about. But yo, this draft has plenty of
No,
offensive
I
linemen.
was saying that right tackle from Washington. I was making jokes because of how he died in the national championship.
Oh, okay. I got you.
He died in
Yeah.
front of us all.
Well, you know what, They
Oh,
all did.
RSV
They
and
all
Dill was
did.
in sync. Yep.
They all played poorly that game though. They all did. Even Fatano, they all played poorly. Michigan just took it to their offensive line. So I that game a lot. That guy did play horribly. I'm not absolving him, but I'm also tipping my cap to Michigan because they definitely did bring it. To Washington to take that game. So. And remember, Washington had the number 1 rated offensive line in all of college football, and they got bitch slapped. And that's just it. So, but getting back to the guard
Punked.
position, I
Ashton
mean,
Kutcher.
what about Ashton Kutcher?
No, that's what I said. Punked.
Oh,
Ashton Kutcher.
okay. You got
Punked.
all I heard was Ashton Kutcher. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
punked.
yeah, no, all right, that's a good one. Yeah, so
What?
I
What do
mean,
y'all feel about Cooper Beebe?
Bro,
Eh.
you can get him. You can get now. What's his name? Zach Zinter. You can probably get him late.
That's where I'm at. That's
You,
who. That he is exactly what I want. Pause.
that's my
That's
Appreciate
what
point.
I
you,
want
bro.
right there.
But see,
That's what I
listen,
want.
listen. There are so many interior offensive linemen in this draft. We can get guys. You can get guys. I mean that and Alice can even talk to you about what they saw down there at the Senior Bowl. Some of those the one-on-one battles, and they were showing them. And I'm just sitting. I'm just like for the most part, it seemed like the offensive line was
Coach,
owning that defensive line.
I need a name from one of you guys because I don't have it. And if the chat, you guys have it, please help me out. What is the guard's name from Notre Dame? What is
Oh,
his name?
dang it,
Give me that.
damn it,
Give
yeah.
me that.
Oh, what's his name? What's his name? What's his
Yo, what is this kid's name, man? Please, somebody help a brother.
name?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah,
What's good, Miz? Update
Miz, what
What's
up,
up,
Sean.
bro?
everybody?
What's up, Miss?
What's up, everybody?
I'm gonna give you a website. You can always look up a lot of guys. You will love this site because it's very detailed. But type in
Joe
NFLDraftBuzz.com.
Alt is Joe
Joe
Yes,
Alt.
Alt, no, Alt is
yes,
the
bro.
All
tackle.
is a
Not
tackle.
no, not the tackle, not the
Oh,
tackle.
Alt is
he's
the
a
The
tackle.
tackle.
All the
the
tackle.
dude who plays right next to him. The
Yeah.
dude who plays right next to
I
Joe
know what
Alt.
you're talking about, E. I can't.
Oh man, I know his name
Pull up
too because he
pull
was
up the site.
magnificent in that USC game. That's
E
what
pull up
allowed me to notice him.
If you pull up the site, I guarantee you he's going to be in there. And
All right,
it's NFLDraftBuzz.com, and
got you.
you can pick each position, and if you want guards, interior offensive linemen, and you can go. It'll give you a list of them. It even gives you a scouting report, their pros, their cons, everything, their measurements.
Yo, Jared Patterson.
Thank
Jared
you.
Patterson was last year from
That was
Notre.
last year.
Oh, was it? Because I just pulled it
Yeah,
up.
See,
Yeah, that was
Miz?
last year.
I try to be smart. I don't know what it is, but
No, but what I'm saying to you guys is, Coach, I normally do those things, from watching the games and taking my own assessments. But I will definitely, if I cannot remember a name, I will definitely go right there. And for you guys who don't know who that kid is or that's gonna look him up,
Rocco
he stood
Spindler?
right. Yo, that's
Is it
was that
Rocco
his name?
Spindler?
Is it
No.
Pat Coogan?
Yeah.
I remember
Whoever
that.
whoever Joe
Rocco.
Alt was the left tackle, right?
Yeah, he's a left tackle, and
Whoever the left guard was.
so I would be able to
Pretty
look
sure
it
I
up
think it
if I
was.
wasn't
I
on
think
my
it was.
phone.
I think it was Pat Coogan. I would remember, Coach.
Whoever the
Oh,
left
wait,
guard
Rocco's
was.
a
Coach,
right
you
guard.
remember
Never
when we
mind.
was looking
Not
at
Rocco.
Alt and I was like, dude was nice. The dude next to him, remember?
Yes, yes,
He was
bro.
doing
And
our
he
film.
and he stood out every game.
Yeah, it's. I
Every
think it's
game he stood out.
Pat Coogan.
yeah.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But nevertheless, I want to ask you guys something. Yeah, Pat Coogan. Iman put it in the chat. That's who I thought it was.
Salute to you, Iman Perry, my brother. Thank you so much, man. Yo, do me a favor. Go research this guy's stats, and I guarantee you'll
Pretty
be eye
nice.
popping like Zach Zenner. I
was asking
guarantee.
Coach, I was telling Coach about him. We was doing
Yeah.
a film review in the back chat one night, and I was like, "Oh, this dude right here is all right."
And it'll even this site will even give you their projected draft position of everyone. I mean, it's very detailed and very analytical. It's an analytical approach to players, and it's not like a lot of these other sites that only give you a couple of guys. Like literally, they can give you sometimes 5 or 6 pages, and there's 20 players on each page. So I mean,
Yeah, but that's him.
Prospect.
That's him, Coach. And I would like to do something that I always ask you guys, Coach and YG, and whoever else wants to join in. Miz, you already know you're more than welcome, bro. I would like to take that hour with you guys at some point, either this week or next week, and just do the film breakdown on this kid. And his kick slide, his hand placement, his point of attack, but none other. I'm sorry, not none other, but nothing less than athletic. He's sneaky athletic. You would think that he's beat, and then he gets his hands in the position that they need to be in, and he creates those gaps and wedges. Yo, I could not believe how good this kid was until I watched him at least play 6 games. I said, let me see who he truly is. Yo, this kid is on that level. I don't know if he's even eligible, but he got it.
He's not. I'm looking
Good. We can draft him next year.
eligible players for the Fighting Irish. He's not on the list.
Well,
It's either we get Alt or Blake.
he's a
Fisher.
junior,
tackle.
so
And for a guard, it's Spindler. But they're
Well,
projecting either.
oh
But
shit!
Spindler's projected either
I
to
think-
be not drafted, and the other two, and Fisher's estimated to be out by the 3rd round. Be picked in the 3rd round.
Oh, Milwaukee Phoenix is on. Nice. Okay.
yeah. But yo, check it out. Coach, I was gonna ask you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was listening to who was I listening to, man? I can't think of it right now, man. But they was talking about this new defensive coordinator, and they was talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. And I'm seeing stuff on Twitter, Kayvon's a bust and all this nonsense keeps coming up. But what I will say is he does have some growing to do. And who was it? I think it was Big Blue View I was listening to. They mentioned the fact that Andre Patterson did not work with Kayvon Thibodeau directly.
No, he does.
It was the Wilkins that was working with Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yes,
but Andre Patterson had worked with Dexter Lawrence, and we seen the growth from Dexter Lawrence.
Okay.
From Andre Patterson, and the writer specifically mentioned, I think it was I hate to not give people. I think it was Ed Valentine. He specifically mentioned that the hand placement was something that they didn't see Kayvon Thibodeau do a lot, like his counter moves. Like when his first move doesn't work, he gets stopped and he don't have a counter. And that was basically what Dexter Lawrence got better at. It was his hand usage.
Okay.
So they were saying that since the Wilkins is out the picture, why they should have RJ Patterson work with Kayvon Thibodeau more on his pass rush move.
No, can't. Okay. This is a different position. That's like saying, that's like saying Jerome Henderson should be teaching Kayvon.
Didn't he work with Danielle Hunter as a defensive end?
Danielle Hunter, okay. They also play a 4-3. See, that's the thing that people make a mistake on. Kayvon is an outside linebacker. He's a rush edge. If you were to put your hand in the dirt defensive end, then you have a 4-3. It's something different.
So tell me this: if you are in a nickel package, where are you putting Kayvon Thibodeau at? Because this guy I heard runs nickel more than his base.
Okay, just because you run nickel, you could have an outside linebacker who's a rush player. I get what you're saying, but that's where the outside linebacker coach has to teach him this. It's not just because he's a
maybe that was the problem with the Wilkins.
Yes,
Wilkins,
that's probably why that's why they're out of here.
I can't see my man dropping back in coverage a lot like that no more. I also can't see him. I also can't see. I feel like I get it. That's his position. Yada yada yada. Well, if that's his position, you shouldn't have drafted the motherfucker. Because to me, I need my number 5 overall pick rushing the fucking passer. I'm sick of this shit,
you're getting into this stuff that is not football. You need your number 5 rushing the passer. No, he's in his position. Even though he's a number 5, he's an outside linebacker. Now, if you go look at the amount of times he dropped into coverage, it was 90 something times out of over 1,100 snaps. People make a big deal out of this, and you're really not understanding. He's dropping into coverage less than 10% of the damn time. That just forces the offense to prepare for something more, and also get burnt sometimes with something they're not expecting. It's just like bringing a safety on a blitz, because if you say that, then a safety shouldn't be blitzing. He should only be dropping into coverage. He should not be coming on a blitz. No, this is football. If he's an outside linebacker, and the outside linebacker has to rush the passer, and he also has to drop into coverage on occasion.
Maybe we need to think about putting Kayvon somewhere different on this next defense that we're going to be starting to build. Because
why would you say that, bro?
Based on the type of defense. And odd front.
I don't want to see Kayvon Thibodeau in coverage.
I get it.
Right here, Iman, big fat, hand in the dirt.
No, I don't want to see it because now it makes
and also,
you gotta get him another end. Then you better draft another end.
No,
real quick. Also, to Alex's point right here, why wouldn't he work with Patterson just on
because he's an outside?
Alone?
No, because he's a different. You're taking him away from his coach.
So that coach can't work with another coach to get his pass rush.
No, that's like NYG. That's like saying the quarterback should go work with the wide receiver coach.
Maybe you can get some insight from the wide receiver coach. I don't know.
Can I ask both of you brothers a question?
What I'm saying to you is this: the coaches can work together, yes. But not the position coach go work with another position. No, this ain't high school. This is the NFL. That's what they're paid to do. So if he's an outside linebacker and he works with the outside linebacker coach, then that's what he's supposed to do. He does not go work with the defensive line. He does not. I understand about pass rush moves and so on and so forth. That's what an outside linebacker coach is supposed to
So
help
tell
coach
me,
the
so tell me, so tell me this then, Coach,
Spreadsheets.
because you are the coach, and I
Mhm.
will always,
I
respect your
get what you're
football
saying.
knowledge. What is what? All right, I'll put it like this: what can Kayvon Thibodeau improve on going into next season? Because he
Said
had 11 and a half sacks, but there's some deficiencies in his game.
yes, yes,
We know
yes.
that. We
You gotta
watched the
get
game.
stronger, bro.
But
Like
NYG,
Brian Baldwin was saying it today. He's got to hit the weight room and he got to get bigger and stronger.
and
That's it.
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that's going into some of it. But with this new defense, movement helps this. And then, like you said earlier, your secondary moves. So if you start on the outside and you get the tackle moving outside and you get his hips twisted, now what? Maybe a spin move or a rip to the inside. That's a counter move.
That's what I'm talking about. The count. That's
Okay,
what I said. The counter
but
Can
move.
no,
I
but
ask? Can I ask
that's
the
not.
both of you guys a question?
Go ahead, E.
Because I want the people to understand the great knowledge that you guys are passing back and forth, but I don't want them to lose what it is that you guys are talking about. So I'm gonna ask you, NY, and then you, Coach, and Miz, of course, and the other gentleman. What is Kayvon Thibodeau's skill set? Each of you have to go one on one because you'll overtalk each other. So I want to hear from perspectives. What is Kayvon Thibodeau's skill set?
Go
What's his
ahead,
skill
NY.
set?
Go ahead, NY.
His skill set to me is his burst off the edge. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he has that quickness off the edge, and I agree with Miz. I don't see strength or like a bull rush as something that he's gonna be dominating at right now in his career. But to me, that's his skill set. Is rush, pass rush, get after the passer. He's athletic. He's
Mhm.
quick at chasing down, running backs and quarterbacks or whatever. We seen that a lot. His speed, his hustle. So I understand all that, and that's his skill set. Just to answer your question, to me, that's a skill set. I'm not, you know, of worth of knowledge as far as like
Okay.
technical aspects of it. Coach can
Right.
get more into that.
So
That's
let
what I
me
see.
let me let me make sure I got it mentally jotted down so that I could see exactly what everybody is saying. It's a reason I'm asking this question from you guys, and when you're done, you're going to see how it ties in to what we are all actually talking about, and the fans are going to love this. So your mind is his skill set is his ability to come around the corner with speed.
Yes.
Right.
You know how bad and easy that is to be countered if you don't have another move outside of that.
Hmm.
He
You
got to
can
develop
always get
inside
pushed.
move.
You can always get pushed past the pocket because that will be using your inertia
Oh,
against you,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Or if a quarterback is just easily able to reset his pocket, you have no chance of doing anything because guess what? You're 3 to 5 yards up the field in back of him while he's making a play in front of you. That is why Wink Martindale dropped him into coverage at times.
Hmm.
Mm.
But go ahead.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I think you
Keep
got to
answer the
develop
question. Yes.
an
Go ahead, man.
inside move. And YG, you got to develop an inside move. I think it'll come, but I think
Mhm.
that what you're going to see with Kayvon this year, and it comes along with this defensive coordinator, and I'm not really a big fan of him, but I could be wrong. We'll see. This guy is good against the run. I think that he'll develop Kayvon at staying home and stopping the run, which is something I think Kayvon got to work on a little bit. Can't always just speed rush the quarterback and then they run the draw inside. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think he'll get better at that. And the other thing, got to go get another real edge on the other side because I don't think Aziz is that guy.
Okay. So to your point, right, Miz? You feel like Kayvon needs to get bigger, he needs to get stronger because one move and getting around the corner is not going to get it for him, right? He has to develop some type of inside moves, right?
Right.
The NFC East is built for guys who are going to try inside moves. Every left tackle in the NFC East, besides Trent Williams leaving the Washington Commanders, was top-notch, all-pro, first team. If you think about it, Tyron Smith, right? Trent Williams, and for us, our beloved 78, Andrew Thomas, right?
Right.
Yeah, and what's the guy
And
in
then
Philly?
the Eagle and from Philly, right?
Yeah.
So basically, they're built to anchor an entire offense. So they utilize your best weapon or pass rusher unless they move him on the right side because tackles don't switch up to fight pass rushers. Why do you think Wink Martindale moved Kayvon Thibodeau so many times to the right side during NFC East games?
Right.
Next.
Coach, you got it.
I thought you wanted to hear from Mets.
Go ahead, man.
In my view, Kayvon needs to add some moves without doing what Aziz did, i.e., adding more muscle and getting himself injured all the time. I mean, what Miz said about Aziz is becoming a liability. I'm worried about what Kayvon could become that if he adds more muscle to himself and gets bigger. We do not need girth. Mike is not always right. Speed does help, but with the NFC built to cutting off the inside edge attack, Thibodeau needs an outside edge shot. He needs to come in from the outside more than he does from the inside if he's going to succeed more often than not.
Okay.
So to your point,
stronger. When I
So
say
to-
stronger, Kayvon got to become more of a grinder. It's not always going to be that pretty, sexy rush from the outside, and you're going to be able to nail the quarterback from the backside. It's not going to happen because the quarterback's going to step up into the pocket. He needs to become more of, I'm going to grind and get dirty and come at you a little bit from the inside, and then he can bounce back outside again. You got to have you got to have a couple moves. You got to have a variety if you want to be an elite edge in the NFL. You got to have a variety. He's also got to step his rush defense up. He's got to get better in the run game, man. You got to.
So according to Mets, right? According to Mets, he didn't give a skill set. He talked about him being a liability in certain instances. That liability showed in games where he wore himself down when he couldn't come around the edge or he couldn't put himself in position to play the keys. For you guys that know what playing the keys means, it means finding yourself in between the tackles, in between when they're actually moving or zone gap stretching or wham playing, that you know how to maneuver, shed blockers, and make the tackle. How many times have you seen him taken out of games, according to what Mets is saying? And he's nowhere near wrong. How many times did he play the disappearing act for exactly whenever we saw 3 or 4 sacks in 3 or 4 games in a row? But when he was needed the most, he was in the invisible man.
You want to know something? You're going to learn a lot about the type of level of edge rusher Kayvon's going to be this coming year. It's only been 2 years. He's young. But here's the thing. He succeeded. A lot of his stuff came off of Wink Martindale's blitz schemes. There's not going to be a blitz scheme this year. So you're going to find out that Kayvon's able to create shit himself.
That's why I was saying he needs to develop more pass rush moves. And if it ain't Andre Patterson, I understand, Coach, where you're coming from. Get somebody in here to teach that man some more moves, some counters, some better hand usage. You know,
or whatever his last name is, doesn't fit that bill in some people's minds.
Can I say something to you, NYG, Ms. Mets, before Coach says something, and then I have a comment with him, or banter rather, as I love to say that word now. NYG, thank you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shoot.
Kayvon Thibodeau is nowhere near the natural pass rusher that Azeez Ojulari is. I'm waiting to hear a comment back
That's
to me.
probably true.
He is not the natural pass rusher that Aziz Ojolari is.
He's more athletic, but that doesn't. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You
He's
get
not
what I'm
like
trying
pure,
to express,
yeah,
right?
pure,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
pure
He is
pass
not
know
a
what you're
pure pass rusher. He is a learned one.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people get upset at what they see in his skill set when they are overthinking what his skill set actually is. He is not a natural pass rusher. He is a learned one who is gaining experience and learning how to become a better pass rusher as time goes along. So are you okay for the long run, or do you expect him to be what you think he is right now and keep disappointing yourself?
I'm hoping he
Hold
gets
on.
his head out of
Hold
the tail and becomes what we need him to be instead of what he has shown himself to be.
And I believe taking a leap in 11.5 sacks and doing better last season than he did this season speaks for itself.
Yo, E,
Jacob, what's good? What's
tell me
good,
if I'm
Jacob? What's
wrong.
good, Raphael? What's up? What up?
Tell me if I'm wrong. Kayvon is a finesse pass rusher, as where Aziz is your traditional old school physical guy.
And let me tell you something. There's a thing pass rushes just like any player in any position in the league.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna make a comparison though. E.
There's a move that Aziz Ojolari performs that I don't even think a lot of people talk about. It's called a jump slap. He takes 3 steps to whoever is trying to get him in a 45-degree angle, and he catches them in between their kick slide and their planted foot. And he slaps their hands away, which knocks them off balance, and he gets that step in that bendiness that he has, right? Pause, and he's able to get around the corner. Now you guys will watch for that move right there every time that I just said.
You know what I need, man? I need Kayvon Thibodeau to be for us what OC was. I need Aziz to be like Tuck. And what we missing? Michael Strahan. We don't got him yet, but yeah. That's what
But you also got to realize we ran a different defense, and that was a 4-3.
I know.
So you're not going to see that out of a 3-4.
It ain't going to be that in a 3-4.
You're not going to see that at all.
But what I will say is, from a not even a production standpoint, but from a not position, but a role. From a role standpoint. Right. Remember, OC wasn't great at stopping the run. But when they let him loose to go get that quarterback, you bet your damn bottom dollar. What we need now, though, is we need somebody that can obviously hold it down in the run and have some more passers. I don't understand why Aziz can't do that. It seems like he would.
He just can't stay healthy. If Aziz Ojolari plays 16 to 17 games a year, you would see the production out of an OC Umenyiora, a Tuck-ish, because I'm not putting Strahan and him in the same boat. You would see an OC Tuck-ish type of pass rusher, a guy who can strip sack, a guy who actually can hold his own against the run, and a guy who knows how to play the keys and shed blockers to actually make plays. It's just these lower body injuries have put him in a bad position, so we never get to see him be the best at his position.
Blame that
OC was 6'3", Aziz is closer to him, and Kayvon is closer to Strahan. That's cool, Iman, and I appreciate you pointing that out. I'm just saying from a role standpoint, from a role on the defense, like I really want. You see what I'm saying? I want to see that 3 rush, that 3 rotation rushes that where we bring one in, we don't drop off. You know what I'm saying? We don't drop off, and maybe you have a back end of the roster guy, that can give you a Matthias Kiwanuka type of role. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm looking for. If it's a 3-4, 4-3 nickel, I don't give a damn. Just get to the quarterback. That's Giants football. But go ahead,
So let me ask you this: under this guy, he's gonna play a 3-4, right? Which I don't like. But anyway, who am I? I'm nobody. What's
I
better for
can't
us to
I
go
can't
for?
knock the 3-4 though, real quick, Miz, because we won our first two Super Bowls rocking a 3-4. If I'm
Yeah,
not
but you had
mistaken.
Lawrence Taylor. So so the thing is, we
Hey,
ain't got no Lawrence Taylor. So
and that's
he
my
was
point.
three. He was 3-4.
All right. Now
Yeah.
I need to get in this, man. Y'all need to back
Hey.
up for a second, all right? Because um, here's what's going on. All right. Number one, E, to answer your question, you asked what's his skill set. His skill set actually fits an outside linebacker. Now, I know y'all don't want to hear about an outside linebacker dropping. You only want your outside linebacker rushing the quarterback. But that's not playing sound, fundamental, smart football because then you become predictable and you're easy to attack. One of the greatest, LT. Remember, if you will remember the Detroit game, he playing outside linebacker, dropping into coverage, picked the ball off and ran for 98 or
mhm.
96 yards for a touchdown. They
Mm.
weren't expecting him to do that. In the playoff game against San Francisco, when Jim Burke blasted Joe Montana, LT buzzed underneath Jerry Rice because Joe Montana was trying to get the ball to Jerry Rice on that play. And LT buzzed underneath and picked the ball off and ran for a touchdown. Why? Because they weren't expecting that. Now I get the point of that's why I said before about the number of times he dropped into coverage. He dropped into coverage less than 10% of the time over the whole season. But everybody keeps saying, I want his hand in the dirt and go get the quarterback. No, you want to make the offense play prepare for more than what you are going to see. That's the first thing. Now, I'm a coach. I get it. Most of you guys are not a coach, so you're not going to think like me. But I'm telling you, if you were on my football team, this is how you're going to be coached up. Kayvon, yes, he does have to develop some counter moves. I fully agree with that in his pass rush set. He has to work on taking better angles when he's rushing the passer and knowing how to set up the offensive lineman to get him to dip inside, to get that offensive tackle to step inside. And then you want to know what? You hit him with a third move.
Mm.
So now you start on the outside edge, get that tackle taking the deep angle, starting to open. Then you start to rip to the inside, and he starts to ride you. And now you spin. And when you spin, you seal with your elbow. That tackle is then beat. He now closed down the cushion, and now you have a shorter line to get to the quarterback. So yes, you have to work on your counter moves. That comes from your outside linebacker coach working with that. Now, that outside linebacker coach can work with the defensive line coach in meetings, in their own coaches meetings, and talking to the defensive coordinator and understanding with his scheme what he wants. Because sometimes some things that work in a 4-3 are not going to work in a 3-4. It's just not.
Mm.
And that's the thing. I get what everybody wants. Kayvon's skill set is an outside linebacker. Does he have quickness? Yes. He does have a good burst with his first step. He needs to work with his hand placement, knowing how to attack the V on a tackle sometimes in your bull rush, playing half a man when you're rushing the quarterback. In other words, you're attacking the one half of the offensive tackle instead of trying to go head up on him and take and work on both sides. That changes the angle.
78 days.
And this is what an outside linebacker, an edge, it's not edge rusher. If you look at the terminology, it's called an edge player. They don't say edge rusher. Fans add that because you want the edge to rush the quarterback. You look at all the elite ones and you see the sacks and the pressures and the hits. But sometimes that also, how many times have we seen an offensive lineman just sitting there looking at a guy and he's dropping in the coverage? And guess what? Now you have somebody else who snuck right past them. This is what I mean by, you know what? Having them prepare for more than what they were expecting. And now you help somebody else on your defense go get the quarterback, because now that offensive tackle slid to that outside linebacker, and he steps two times, then he drops, changing his angle, drops him underneath the receiver who might be running a quick slant, and the quarterback now has to hold that ball because now he sees that linebacker coming, but now he's not expecting somebody who's slipping past right in between that guard and that tackle, because the tackle is looking at the edge. This is why
So
it's like, this is why for me it's frustrating when I hear fans, and I get it, you guys don't know all the technical aspects, but this is why I say what I say. Kayvon is an outside linebacker. He's an edge player. That's the responsibility of the position. Now you may not like it, but that's the position. Now if you want
Hey,
to say
coach,
you need to go,
can I say something to what
go
you're
ahead,
saying right now? Just
go
really
ahead,
brief.
G. Go ahead.
What people don't understand, coach, is that you're sitting here breaking down the responsibilities of the position he plays in the defense we play.
Mm-hmm.
Every defensive coordinator will assign different assignments
Mm-hmm.
to a player due to his skill set. But it's funny to me how people always come out their mouth and feel how they feel, but they forget what's reality. How many times did Kayvon Thibodeau have a situation where he could have intercepted a pass for a pick six because he was in
Mm-hmm.
the right position?
Mm-hmm.
How
Exactly.
many times we watched him drop an interception and had a free run to the end zone? All
And
he had to do was hold on to the
hold on
ball.
to the ball.
I think twice.
And that was just last season.
Jeffrey Simmons is a left end. Um,
That's
the
that's
the
different than the
the
3-4.
Nico Autry is a right end. No, this is the base 3-4 defense that they're
No, I
bringing over
understand.
here.
Here,
So
let me say this. Let me say this so everyone can get the picture. Okay. When you say end, okay, defensive end, it's different in the 3-4 than in the four
I
three.
know
So
I totally understand, Coach. You know I know that.
mhm.
The two ends play on the end and nose plays in the middle. Dexter will
Nope,
be playing the
nope. The
nose, and
ends do
Dexter
not play
with
on the nose.
Jalen
The
Johnson.
the ends do not play on the end in a 3-4. That's what I was trying to say to you. They play a five technique. They play on the tackle. If you look at their alignment, sometimes they'll move them
I'm
inside.
saying his position is listed as left defensive end. Where
Yeah.
he plays on the line, that's yeah, I agree with you. That's your expertise. I'm saying as far as the listing, as far as to give the people a basic um explanation of this. You have three players on the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm. Hand.
Left, nose, right.
Yes.
Okay. So that's all I'm saying. I don't want you to kill me like, no, goddamn, he
Okay.
plays as the five tech. No, I know where you're going with that. But Jeffrey Simmons was on the left side on the line. I thought he was a not watching any Tennessee games, really, not really paying attention to them. I thought he was more situated for the nose, like Dex. That was actually
Got you.
Jalen
Got you.
Johnson.
Got
See
you.
what I'm saying?
I
That's
got,
all I was saying.
I got you. I'm sorry.
Now you good. Go ahead.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. That's why, that's why you have outside linebackers outside the end, because they line up outside the end. So, and that's why you like when people say off ball linebacker versus an on ball, that's the outside linebacker. The off ball linebackers play behind the line. That's why it's called off ball. So, and that's usually going to be your interior defense. I mean, interior linebackers. Like Bobby O and McFadden.
Yeah.
Now if you run a 4-3, then the 4-3 they're going to be behind them a little bit more. So that's where sometimes you want to clarify with fans to understand an outside linebacker is on the line of scrimmage and they're just outside the end, usually outside the tackles, and we've seen that before. Maybe sometimes they'll bump the end inside on the inside shoulder to tackle and have the outside linebacker just outside, especially in a spread concept. So, and getting back to Kayvon's skill and his position and what he's supposed to do, I get fans' frustration, and you know what? That's why fans get upset. Like E said, he's there and he's dropping easy picks. So now you just want to see him rush the passer because he's not. You feel like he's not doing anything when really he is. He's deflecting the pass and knocking it down and not letting the receiver catch the ball. But yeah, we want him to catch it and run all the way for a touchdown. You know, got to work, and that's where the outside linebacker works on drills with him and that's why I'm so adamant. And what you guys don't know is I've coached both inside and outside linebackers in a 3-4, and I've coached linebackers in a 4-3. And those are some of the things that I've worked on. I've worked on blitz angles. I've worked on your hand placement in terms of attacking the offensive lineman. I've also worked on with them in their drops, the angles, and what they're supposed to look for, how they're supposed to settle, and how they have to soften their hands because sometimes that's what happens with guys. Their hands tense up, and that's why it bounces off instead of just get your hands soft. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You soften your hands so it cradles the football, and then you just tuck it. It's not hard catching a football. I don't care unless you got Anthony Richardson throwing you a zillion mile an hour fastball. Then you know what? All right, I'm with you. But most quarterbacks, you know what? If you just cradle it and you get it right, and I wish my boy Raul was here because he would tell you. I used to work with him on this because he couldn't catch a damn interception for shit. But then the first game we played together, he gets interceptions, and that season he ended up with 7. And he'll tell you, if it wasn't for me working with him with the techniques, he never would have had the success. And that's the things that a good outside linebacker needs
So,
to work with.
so
And
coach,
go ahead.
just
Oh shit.
I want to
Oh,
keep the conversation going. I was going to point out a couple things here, and then
oh,
um,
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
the Nico Autry, um,
Mm-hmm.
he had 11 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles for the Tennessee Titans. I believe that led the team. He was the right defensive end. That was his
Mm-hmm.
position. I'm not sure where he lined up at, but and then you had Harold Landry, which was the outside
Mm-hmm.
linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he had 10 and a half sacks. So that could be a position, a comp, so to speak. I think Alex put that out there earlier for Kayvon Thibodeau in this particular defense right here. And then the other,
Outside line.
the Sam,
Mm-hmm.
Arden Key, he had 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 17 total tackles. Altogether, the Tennessee Titans had 65 sacks.
How many
as
quarterback
a
hits?
as a team.
How many quarterback hits?
Um,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Quarterback hits. I would have to go to another
Oh, I thought it get no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I thought it
back
gave.
and look at that.
Don't worry about it.
I'm looking at the depth chart and how they were lined up more so than anything else because I just want to see comps as far as how our personnel is compared to the Titans personnel on defense. So I'm just looking at those particular things. So to your point, Coach, we can still match that production or probably, get more production out of somebody who I think is more talented. Not a knock on Harold Landry, but out of Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon had 11 sacks. He had 10. If I were to look at his quarterback hits, I could give you that here in a little bit, but that's what I was kind of looking for, the comparison aspect of it, just to see where we could how we could do this. And Iman has a excellent question here. I put up on the screen if you want to tap into that. It says, what about Simmons, Isaiah Simmons? Can he do some of these roles or those roles?
I'm going to go over that, but the first thing is thank you for sitting there reading that because Here's the one difference between their defense and the 3-4 that I do differently. Well, number one, defensively, I'm multi-set. So, but if I do run a odd front, um, you said that their ends are left side and right side, where I do strong side, weak side.
Mm.
So that all that means is the ends and the outside linebackers, like you say, Will and Sam. Sam
Yeah, that's
used
how they got them listed. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't, like I said, I don't know what they. I don't have
No, what
Tennessee Titans tape in front of me, to break it down. But I'm just based on the internet, pretty much is what
no,
we're
no,
using right now.
no, and what I'm alluding to is like with LT. For the most part, back in the day they moved him, but really LT was the left side outside. I mean, right side outside linebacker. That's really
Mm.
what really he what where he was for
Right.
90% of the time. They did move him around, but and that's what I'm getting at. Where there are some teams that move there because I've heard before that well, Kayvon only plays on the right side. And I'm like, no, I've seen Kayvon not a lot, but I've seen him line up on the left side on occasion, and Aziz a lineup, and I think we were more strong and weak as opposed to left
Mm.
and right. But now, if it's left and right, that helps in his maturation because he's only working on one side. It's a good thing because he could just focus on that technique, but then
Mm.
it doesn't help you if you have to in an emergency situation bounce to the other side.
Mm.
It's kind of like the right tackle, left tackle. You just have to get used to it on the offense. That's all I'm getting at. But when you said that, I'm just like, I really like that thought. Maybe just giving Kayvon one side to work with right now
Uh,
Mm.
before he develops and
Big
becomes a better
Pat, what's
player.
good, brother? What up,
Now, as
bro?
far as what's
Tap
up,
in,
Pat,
man.
and
I'll
before
send you the link if you want to.
as far as Isaiah Simmons, I've wondered because it's like, well, now if he's doing a lot more nickel, like you said, how does he run his nickel? Is he running it with two linebackers? Is he running it with a 3-3 stack?
Mm.
Then you could probably use Isaiah Simmons a little bit more in that regard. But if he's not, because really, is he an outside linebacker? I don't think so because for me, at 200 and what is he 220, 230 pounds? If he's an
Who
outside
was that?
linebacker, if he's an outside linebacker, I'm
Jimmy.
running at him. Like if it's 3rd and 5, I'm running at him. I'm not gonna sit here
I
and just
don't be
always
here.
pass. I'm going to run at him because he's not going to be able to handle an offensive lineman
He's gone.
blocking him man on man. So
Mm.
and that's the question. That's what they got to talk to Baldwin about. How they because he's a free agent. So
Yeah.
and what kind of money are they going to give him, and what kind of role is he going to play? What is Alex saying?
No money.
Some Titans free agents that the Giants could look at.
Yeah. I
I
heard
give him no
about
money.
Bunting.
How about that?
Yeah.
Heard about Terrell
I give him
Edmonds.
nothing, not a penny. See you later. Sorry.
Well,
Who
that's
you-
Edmund's brother. That's right. That's the other one. So,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, people saying Simmons probably gone. What about McKinney though?
Oh, they is. The
that's
guy
the
was about to go
question.
there, NYG.
Well, here's the thing.
Hey,
First
Pat.
and
This is why they
foremost,
need to try to keep.
we talked with Stas and the guys were talking about that earlier in terms of the safety money. If you with the new franchise coming out, if you do it, it's 17 million. So
Woo.
are you going to franchise him? I would think not. But now is he going to want his money because the top safeties are like 19 to 20 million dollars? I think what's his name? Is it Derwin James is like 19 million dollars? I think he's
Yeah,
tops.
he's right around 19.
So so
I
are we
think
going
Matt
are
actually said that in his video. He broke that down
yeah.
to where McKinney would come on the back end basically of the top 10
And that
around
and if you're going to do that
14-ish million or something
yeah,
like that.
12 to 14. Now, are we comfortable doing that, and offering him that kind of money? Because that's what he's going to, and then that's what he's going to probably, you're going to have to offer him. And then
All right,
how many
Mets.
years are you going to, you know, offer him in terms of a contract? Because is it going to be 4 years? And are you going to guarantee, say, like 30 mil or 25 mil? Then it's like, okay, is he going to take it? Take that or not? What are you going to do? Because for me, thinking about it, it makes sense of with this defense because with Patrick Graham with the too high look all the time, He excelled with that. So now there's other things. You can drop him down into the box on occasion. He can still play deep, go sideline to sideline. You can match him up on occasion with certain players in the slot. Not everyone, but he's still good enough to handle what you need to do. And then, like I said, with the way they run, with the way he ran his defense with the robber concept and the insert concept, I think McKinney can succeed with this type of a scheme. So that's me. That's how if I'm looking at it and based on the way we're going to run this defense, that's how I would look to use McKinney. But again, does he want to come back? And
Right.
what is the contract money? Because if he's here, then yeah, he would fit in. He would definitely fit in. But if he, does he want to come back? Is he tired of Dable and everything
Yeah.
that's going on?
Well, McKinney was tired of Wink, from what they've been saying in the media or whatever, man. But look, I'm okay for bringing McKinney back at this point.
What did
Is
Julian Love get? Also, I'm sorry. So, I didn't mean to cut you.
Julian Love got like 6 or 7 million a year.
Oh, no,
He got like
McKinney.
a 2-year
Yeah,
contract. McKinney's gonna
was
double
a
that.
yeah.
But the thing about it is, is McKinney gonna play more of that center field role, like he played, like you were saying, in Patrick Graham's defense, or
I
is
think
he gonna be more in
I think
man?
Bowen mixes up his safeties. That's the whole thing. They're interchangeable. And to be honest with you, both of our safeties and Pinnock and McKinney can do that. Even Belton. Belton played because Belton played in the zone concept at Iowa, so he understands that. He understands with his eyes how to play it, what to look. Now, does he need to be better in his tackles and some of his angles? Yes, but he's also good at causing turnovers. We've seen him cause a lot of
Yeah,
fumbles, and
yeah,
and
the kid's a ball hawk.
yeah.
Pause. Yeah.
So and that's the thing, and don't forget we still have what's his name,
Javarius Owens.
Owens. Yeah, I mean, how is he going to be developed in this system? So that's why when people were saying questioning the pass defense, I thought our pass defense is better than Tennessee's. Let me just put it
It's our pass defense was good. Our run defense is what stunk.
exactly.
And that's even by like the stats and the metrics and all that, because I've been kind of tracking that stuff all year. Our pass defense was like middle of the pack. Our run defense was bottom of the pack. So
Mm-hmm.
that pushed our defensive overall rating down, and that's why people saying, oh, we had the 27, 26 defense. But yeah, that was because we couldn't stop the run. And that is one thing that I did not like about Wink Martindale's defense is and it wasn't like that in Baltimore, but for whatever reason, well, now that I'm thinking about it, Leonard Williams probably had a lot to do with that. But our run defense was just not up to par, in my opinion. And when you playing the NFC East, you got to be able to stop the run. So you see what I'm saying? Styles make fights. People, and shout out to Big Pat, because he is one of the things he preaches, myself as well. We got to win in our division, first and foremost. We got to figure out how to beat these teams in our division. You know what I mean? We tend to do well or better outside the division. And we get in the division, we just get mollywopped. If it ain't by the Eagles, it's by Dallas or it's by both. So we got to get better at that. You know what I'm saying? So, stopping the run. You want to force Jalen Hurts to pass. You want to force Dak turnover Prescott to pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to give them easy opportunities, man, to carve you up because you can't stop their running attack. And so,
NYG, that I'm sorry, and that's why when I initially said, "What are we doing on the interior?" Like I know everyone's talking about McKinney. But for me, it's more important to get the interior of our defensive line set before I even look at the back end. Because just like you're saying, we gotta stop the run. And that's the biggest thing in this division. We got to stop that run. So if we can get Ashawn Robinson, because he towards the end of the season, after he got comfortable and came back from the injury, he played fairly well. He really did.
Yeah.
So, he's someone that, I have confidence he can come in and do the job. And whether it's DJ Davison or Riley, you continue to develop them. Patterson is doing a good job there. You still need one more, maybe two more, just to fill in there and to be suitable to come in and just not get pushed all around. Now if you want to bring Nacho back, Nacho was all right. I mean, I'm not saying he's the greatest, but he made some plays and he did his job. So, and damn, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was looking at the Milwaukee game. Sorry.
Nah, you good. You good.
So,
We gonna wrap it up here. I went over what I said I was gonna go over.
oh
It's
yeah.
almost 12 now, but well, it is after 12. But Miz, I know you like to
Yeah.
talk about the quarterback. So what you
Oh yeah.
what you been hearing on the quarterback on the
I got a
quarterback
couple of
news?
hints the last 2 days that the Giants are definitely drafting a quarterback, so you guys are gonna see it. I also think if they let Barkley go, that's even more the reason they're gonna draft a quarterback. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and it doesn't have to be at 6. It could be later first, early second. But I guess it's all how the chips fall with the top 4 or 5 picks. I think they're gonna go after that tackle from the Raiders, so they might not draft Joe Alt. They might be able to get themselves, if it's not a quarterback, then a wide receiver, one of those top 2 wide receivers outside of Harrison.
Do you think the Giants will be bold enough to draft? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, so don't shoot. Don't
No, I'm
shoot.
not.
But do you think the Giants will be bold enough to draft? And chat, y'all can answer too. To draft Bo Nix in the top 10.
I hope not. I hope not, bro.
Not a knock on Bo Nix. I mean, personally, he's not one of my favorites out of this group, if you want to say that. But do you think they will be bold enough to take Michael Penix or JJ McCarthy in the top 10?
I think there's a chance, and I still wouldn't do it at 6, but there's a chance they would take JJ McCarthy.
At 6.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it at 6, but if you're asking me a wild card, that would be the one.
So no to McCarthy. All right, I will say maybe to McCarthy. I still think it's a no. Definitely no to Penix. Definitely no to Bo Nix.
See, I'm McCarthy.
What quarterbacks are left? If quarterbacks are going top 3, who's left? Because I didn't name 6.
Who's left? You got Penix, you got JJ, you got
That's
Bo
what I'm
Nix.
saying. If they're not taking them at 6, which I don't think they would, you agree.
Are the
The
Giants
chat
looking
tends to
for?
agree.
Are the Giants looking for a top level quarterback here? Is Joe Shane playing smoke mirrors and poker with people, and he's going to look to go get his quarterback, or are they going to take a project like Rattler in the 3rd round or somewhere, the second round pick? Who knows?
I think they're going to take a project quarterback if they take one at all. That's what I've been saying. Alex kind of corroborated that a little bit with his work at the Senior Bowl. Shout out to you, Alex. The Giants are kind of looking at some of these back end quarterbacks. Spencer Rattler, one of them. McCarthy. I've been hearing they like McCarthy too. So, and he's not going top 10. I highly doubt it, but who knows?
I'm gonna say this, NYG.
Go ahead.
And I'm still gonna stick to what I always said. They want Drake May, but he's not probably gonna be there for them. So now you start to look at that second tier, like you were just saying, and then you keep your 6 and spend it on a talented weapon or something. You know what I mean?
Giving up everything we said tonight about Kayvon Thibodeau and the whole pass rush scenario, give me the pass rusher, man. Fuck that.
Which one? The one
give
from
me the
Bama?
pass rusher. If Latu's medicals check out, cool. If not, give me Dallas Turner or Verse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and to do that, NYG, here's the thing. which is what I want them to do, to be honest with you, is they need to trade back for that. If they can trade back.
I get to trade back. I hate predicting that because you know how that goes. If nobody, especially if the top three quarterbacks are who's trading up, people don't give up their drafts for positional players. Very rarely do they do that. It happens. Don't get me wrong, but it's rare. But go ahead, finish your thought, Coach.
No, I'm just saying. I would, because of the all right. The positions right now that are being pushed to the top right now are quarterback, wide receiver, and the tackles, which is pushing edges back down. This is why I say this. There are going to be teams that want to trade up. So, and the team I'm going to honestly look at is the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Vikings think that they need to move up? And if they move up to 6, is it because they want to add another receiver to go with Jefferson? So, and you can move back down to, I think they're
rich.
12.
That's rich.
But here's the thing.
Receiver, you got to think about their standpoint.
No, NYG. This is the thing. Are they really in position to compete? And if you add a receiver, does that help their offense? Because now I'm saying to you, because now you can also look at possibly picking up their first rounder next year, where you can end up having 2.
Yeah, that's gravy for the Giants. But do you think the Vikings are doing that shit?
It could be for the tight end.
They got 2 elite receivers. Yeah, the tight end.
Yeah, exactly. They got an elite tight end too. Name's Hawkinson.
Actually, Coach, I could see them wanting a young quarterback. That's what they might.
That's what the teams trade up for these quarterbacks.
I'm not saying
we're not in the position.
Listen, I'm not. But we could talk about Atlanta. We could. What I'm saying is, to get the edge rushers. You talked about the edge rushers, and what I'm saying to you is, there is a possibility. I'm not saying guarantee, but this is my dream scenario. Is to trade back, get an extra pick or 2 if you can in this draft, and then also try for a first rounder next year.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. I totally agree with you. Don't get me wrong. If I could trade back, I would not only trade back in the first, I would trade back in the second as well and recoup more picks because you already got 2 seconds. But the problem, I think, is more likely in the bottom half of the round. The problem is it costs so much to get in the top 10. We've been pulled up the draft charts a bazillion times. It costs so much to get in that top 10.
Exactly.
You got to really justify that as a GM from a franchise standpoint. And from the Vikings, I'm gonna let you go real quick. And I see you, Leaf. I'm gonna let you go real quick, Miz. But from the Vikings standpoint, they got Addison, they got Jefferson, and they got Hawkinson. Are they gonna give up multiple picks to go up and get another receiver?
Okay,
it's not gonna
NYG. The point is, I'm saying I'm looking at them. Could it also be an offensive lineman?
Yes,
that's more plausible than
the words out my mouth, Coach.
But that's my point. What I'm saying is,
his name is Joe
Minnesota to move
then
up.
Hell, if you the Giants, you see what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you gonna pass on a tackle when you need one too?
No,
I don't believe we need one. NYG, I don't believe we need a tackle right now.
If I could just say one
depends on what they do with Neil, because I heard that they're in the tackle market. That's what the rumors are. But
let me say 2 things real quick. Number 1, there's one guy in this top 10 that's worth teams coming up for. His name is Joe Alt. I swear by it. Number 2, that's not a quarterback. Joe Alt. Number 2,
we know
the Chicago Bears. I believe they're going to trade out of 1 to Washington. They're going to rob the shit out of them, obviously.
That's happening.
And then they're going to get a boatload of picks, right? And then at number 9, the Bears are going to trade back again and get another shitload of picks. I'm telling you.
That's definitely plausible than the Vikings trading up for a wideout. But I also think, Coach, not to knock your point, if you can trade back, that's cool. I don't know if you're going to have that many suitors. So let me just put it that way.
I say I agree with you. I wonder. I said it's my dream scenario. It's not. Hey, it could not. Could not happen, and we end up having to choose whether
It's
Roman
hard to trade back though. The reason we got that trade back from Chicago because they wanted Justin Fields. Let's keep it a buck. They wanted Fields, and that's why they gave us what they gave us. You know, that draft. You know what I mean? And that was at the top of the draft. Now at the back end of the draft, yeah, you see teams like we traded up to get Banks. You see teams trading the back end of the first round to get certain players. That's plausible. The top 10 is
it happens, NYG.
You ain't doing it for a quarterback or like Marvin Harrison Jr. or somebody like that. I don't know.
And I'm telling you,
somebody could really want JJ McCarthy because the other 3 QBs are gone, and they're like, "Yo, I want to get him before Minnesota gets him."
Oh, I would definitely do that. That's highway robbery right there.
Point. That's my whole. That happens. My whole point. Yeah. So it's like, look, we don't know. It's and everything we're talking about is speculation. And first of all, I want to say this to everyone. You know, I've had a rough day today. I thank y'all. Y'all really are helping me today. I love and appreciate y'all. NYG, you my brother. You always know. You always got my back, so I appreciate y'all.
No doubt, bro.
And this is really helping me again. So, but again, I've heard different things about the Minnesota Vikings. That's why I'm saying that. You know, and these are fans. These are just fans. And I take it with a grain of salt. But it does have me saying, like Arsenio Hall used to say,
yeah.
That's all it is with me. Reality, it's going to be hard for the Giants to trade back. Most teams are going to want to look at Chicago, maybe Washington to trade up. Those are the top 2. You know, in Washington, I find hard to really trade back that far. Chicago is the biggest one.
I tell you who got the goods to trade back. That's the Chargers.
Yeah.
That's the Chargers. They can trade back with Atlanta or somebody like that. If one of them quarterbacks, if Marvin Harrison doesn't go, I mean, if say somebody takes Marvin Harrison, maybe Chicago to take some 1, or maybe they trade back to 2, get picks, and take Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that's probably the likely scenario. I don't think they're gonna, you know, want to give up both their top 10 picks, but yeah, and if Jaden Daniels falls to 5, because I think Arizona would probably look to take a tackle or somebody on that line to help Kyler Murray. If May or whoever falls to 5, yeah, I could see Atlanta or somebody like that wanting to pay that price to go up to get that quarterback. I could see it.
I think
with the Chargers.
NYG, if Harrison doesn't fall to Arizona at 4, Arizona is the team that's going to trade out.
That's possible too.
Some team that wants a quarterback like the Raiders is going to come pushing up.
Raiders, yep. The Broncos. You know, they moving on from Russell Wilson. You know, Peyton. You know, Sean Payton wants to get his hands on a quarterback.
And I think that's another good spot for JJ McCarthy, Denver. I can see that.
Yep. So those are teams you're gonna. The Giants are kind of in a sloppy spot right here. They're in a good spot, but you know, for the quarterback hungry crowd, it ain't happening, man. It ain't happening at 6.
Well, everything also don't forget. There's one other thing. We have to wait for the combine and these pro days.
That's true.
Because McCarthy could go out there and light it up on these pro days. And people
make a slide. People are already predicting Drake May to fall a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then you talked about the Chargers. I mean, right now, you're right, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did take an offensive lineman because whatchamacallit loves to be physical up front.
Yeah,
Harbaugh loves to be physical. So, but you know what? I mean, I can see them trading back because they can get more draft capital and They also brought Minter, what's his name, the DC.
DC,
So they're going to
yeah.
want to get physical on the defensive side of the
They
ball.
could go
So,
defense. Yeah, they could hit. It could take the best defensive player available, which means the Giants might have a shot at a quarterback if they want one, or Marvin Harrison. Never know. It's gonna be real interesting, man. Come draft night, man. I can't
and
wait.
make sure y'all reach out to Go Travels so y'all can be
Yes,
at the draft too.
please do that.
So let's get out there and support our Giants no matter what, or you support your team. Just reach out to NYG and get that done. Got some great packages, great offers. Yo, let's have some fun out there.
Yes,
We'll be
links
coming
are in the
already.
description. There is
I'll be
the
calling.
2024 NFL draft. We got group rates available. Flights, hotel accommodations, transportation, you name it, got you covered. Definitely reach out to www.getouttravels. That's GETOUTRAVELS.com, and fill out the contact information, and we'll get back with you, man. And set stuff up. Yo,
I just
Miz,
want to say, can I say this, NYG?
go ahead.
I was talking to Pat for like an hour and a half the other day. Here's my thing. I love Joe Alt. I really want Joe Alt at 6. But if the Giants address that tackle from the Raiders in free agency, then obviously we're not going to be drafting Joe Alt. So I just wanted to say that. But if we don't, my personal, it's just me, my own Miz opinion, feeling. I would like to have Joe Alt move Evan Neal inside so we can finally have a real deal NFL O-line.
I don't think Evan Neal would be a good guard in the NFL.
I mean, it looks like that's what they're going to try to do, Coach.
I personally, I mean, that's me. I can't give up on talent like that this fast, man. It's kid ain't even played
I'm
enough.
not giving up. I'm never give up on him, but I'm just going by what the reports are. That
I think I'm partially there with you, Miz, as far as moving, trying Evan Neal at guard, but I'm kind of there with Coach too, as far as because at the end of the day, what did we complain with? Everybody the Giants fans couldn't agree on much, but we all agree Bobby Johnson was a bad coach. I think everybody agreed on that.
Yeah. He was
so.
I think he was.
Let's see what he does with this new coach. Yeah, let's see if because he had Bobby Johnson for 2 years now. It wasn't just 1 year; it was 2 years. So let's see if a coach can come in here and get that kick slide right. Get that hand placement.
But let me ask you, NYG. Let me ask you this, bro. You come up to the podium at 6, and Joe Alt is still there.
And then you're gonna move Joe.
How do you pass on that? You know this guy's gonna be a generational tackle.
He's you saying we know. I don't
generational left tackle. Yeah, but we're talking about moving him over to the right side again. We're doing similar things that we've been doing for the past many years, and that's putting players at positions that they haven't played, and they have to relearn that position, and it takes time. And people are going to be getting Joe Alt. People are going to be killing Joe Alt when fucking Parsons and Marcus Lawrence lights his ass up on game 1, because he ain't ready for that, because he still needs time to learn how to play right tackle, not left tackle, right tackle. I'd much rather go out and get Fuaga from Oregon State that's already a right tackle. That's all he played. From what I know,
draft him at 6. No way.
Not at 6. Yeah. But we don't have to take a certain position at 6. We don't have to force it. That's my whole thing. That's my whole draft strategy. So if Alt's there and I don't feel like moving, we're not moving Andrew Thomas, and I don't know about moving Joe Alt. I think that's doing him a bit of a disservice when he can go to another team and play his natural position at left tackle. So I don't know if that works anymore. You know, I'd rather do it more the traditional way right now, and just go out and get you a right tackle if you're going to move Evan Neal. Just get a pure, solid right tackle that's been playing it. That
Two in this
whether
draft.
it's in college, whether it's in the NFL,
The
or
guy in the
previous
leaders, right?
experience, just go get you a
Two
right
in
tackle.
this draft. There are two right tackles that I think would be better than Joe Alt, and that's Fuaga, and that's Tyler
What's up,
Guyton.
Scoop?
Yeah, Guyton was the other one. Yeah. I like
Scoop in the chat.
Fuaga, but Guyton, I like Guyton too. Scoop, what's up, sis? How
What's
you
up,
doing,
Scoop?
man? How you doing? I appreciate you tapping in with us. I know we on a late night show, man. We about to wrap it up here in a little bit, but go ahead, Coach. Finish what you were saying about Guyton and Fuaga.
I mean, those two I think are the better right tackle options. Like, I'm gonna talk to Miz off camera anyway because there's things I want to ask him. In terms of his feelings. So I have a better understanding. So, but yeah, those are the two who I like. I mean, I actually like Tyler Guyton. I love his game, his nastiness, the way he mauls people in the run game, the way he can get out in whether it's a screen or a toss to the outside, and he just annihilates whoever's in front of him. So, I mean, Fuaga is good. He's technically sound. I do think he's a top 10 player. I know some people say, "Oh, well, he's a right tackle." It's like, well, what do you
Okay,
move
right.
Joe Alt to right tackle or him?
Basically, you're drafting the right tackle.
Yeah, so and that's my thinking. So, but again, that's me. That's just how I look at it. Across the board. So, but
Yeah,
that's about it.
I kind of see it. I kind of see it like that too, Coach, man. But we're gonna get out of here, man. Like I said, I didn't intend to make this show this long, but y'all always get me, man, with the conversation. Just be so, so intense.
Mm-hmm.
But Miz, if you want to stay backstage,
Yeah.
so we can chop it up. But go ahead and give your last words, Coach. And then Miz, man, tell everybody what you got coming up, man, and where they can find you.
You said Miz or me first?
But
Coach.
both, you go to Miz, and then we're gonna get out of
Well,
here.
I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be, um, hopefully if everything goes right, I'll be with the Pick and Roll podcast tomorrow. We're going to, go over a lot of scenarios that's happening, and we're also going to be preparing for Thursday. Thursday we're doing a trade special at 1 o'clock. I think it's from 1 to 4 or whenever they end the trades. But we're going to be talking about what's going on in the NBA, and then just hopefully I'll be at home and I can get settled in and I can at least make one video, maybe, hopefully, because there's stuff going on in the WNBA that I want to research. Shout out to my girl Skylar going out to Seattle. Hurts my heart you're not coming to New
Yeah, I
York.
seen
I
that.
love you. I love you, Skylar Diggins. You always know that, but I told her, how I felt, so she knows. And shout out to Kalia Copper, former record star, getting traded from Chicago, going out to Phoenix. So but there's more I want to do. There's a lot going on with Rutgers, that I want to get into. I know I don't have Coach's Corner today because some personal stuff going on, but it's stuff I want to talk about to get ready. This season in basketball, but in next year with a lot of stuff that's going on, and also I'm probably going to start talking about the UFL because we got spring football getting ready to come out. It hurts that they ain't got my damn Jersey Generals, but you know, um, they still got some good teams out there. I'm probably gonna be rocking for the Seattle Battlehawks. I just liked everything about them, but I'm diving into them, and a couple of one of our boys, what's his name, who played for the Giants, is a running back. What's his name? He was a running back before Saquon, or when Saquon was.
Oh, Wayne Gallman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wayne
I seen
Gallman
that. Yeah, Wayne Gallman.
he signed into the UFL, so he's playing down there. So, but hopefully some of those guys will be picked up and move up to the NFL, like like what's his name, who the Cowboys got from my Generals back in the day. So, but that's about it with me. Go ahead, man.
Cool.
You got it.
Miz, you got it, man. You got the floor. Tell them where they can find you at, man. What you got going on?
I don't know. I'll just pop on whenever everybody else is on. You know me. I'll make a video now and then when my emotion or passion feels like it. I wanted to make a video yesterday. I wasn't happy about the hire, but I let it go. Give the guy a chance. So, my only issue really is that I don't like some of the. I like Dable, but there are red flags popping up. You can't ignore them. But anyways, that's for another day. We'll see what happens next year. That's it. I should be coming to the draft. I will be calling you, and so I got to figure that whole trip out because I might
You
have
need
to
to
trip up.
you need to be there, man. You need to be at the
I know I
draft.
want
The
to be
rooms
there.
are already
I told
the rooms are
everybody
locked
here.
in, man. You know what I'm saying? We just
I'm
need to
coming. Yeah, I missed the
discuss how to
last
get
two
you there.
events, so I want
Yeah,
to be
you
at this
and
event
coach,
bad.
man.
I
I
want to
need
see
my big blue
everybody.
crew
Yeah,
out there, man. We need to be out there
100%.
strong this time, man. For real, for
Definitely
real.
get there. Definitely. So no, I've been giving up other things in order to come to that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that's about it, man. You know me. I'm not the biggest thing on this. I'll just make a video when things get
Yeah. Check
going.
out
Something.
Miz in the midday. You
Yeah,
know,
the mid in the midday, it'll pop on. We get closer to the draft. You know, I'm gonna get into it. I do study these players on the video, on the films and stuff. I do it by myself, and um, you know, I know what my players, but I usually am big on look. I look for needs. I know you're not supposed to do that, but just that's just how I think. So
cool, man. Cool, man. But that being said, we're gonna get on up out of here, man. Again, you know it. NYG22 on Twitter. You can catch me definitely on Heart of the City. You know, we may be switching the show up as far as the time slot is concerned. Me and Coach will talk about that a little bit more, but definitely I'll keep you guys posted. Giants conversation, like I said, I'm gonna be doing it not every week. Every week we'll be doing it during the season. In the off season, we're gonna switch to probably every couple weeks, just because I ain't gonna lie, it's tough sometimes to talk to some of these Giants fans, man. Oh man, so I don't know if I could take that shit every week, man. But anyway, and we got lives and all that stuff as well. So, but
yeah,
that being said, man, we're gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through. School, I see you. Appreciate you, sis. Iman, Perry, always holding it down in the chat, man. Definitely appreciate your support, my brother. Big Blue in the Bronx, aka Alex, man. Definitely appreciate your support, man. And your inside knowledge, man. We Alex, man, doing big things out there. Big Pat, of course, you already know, leader of the old school, new school, Big Blue crew. You know what I'm saying? Mets, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming through. Thanks for your contribution. It's 12. It's almost 1 o'clock, y'all. Excuse me. Jacob, appreciate you too, man. Thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate my man E, the chosen one. E, the chosen one. If you don't know where E at, check him out. Shakedown Media, Shakedown Crew podcast, man. Go check them out. Check them out on Twitter. Check them out on YouTube, man. Definitely, man. Him and the fellas over there doing big things. I always go over there, try to tap into that show as well. Big fan, Breezy. Brooklyn Nets vlog, you already know. All things basketball, all things Brooklyn Nets. Go check out and tap into my bro over there as well. And everybody else, Don, Earl, appreciate all y'all coming through, man. And Nimar and everybody else. And Mets. Nah, can't forget about Mets. E. Johnson, appreciate you too. But I think that's everybody, man. We're gonna get on up out of here, man. And till next time, y'all, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Deuces.
Peace.
Where is my intro?